appreciate that. Thank you.
I wanna like document your story. I think it's important. And if you're willing,
Yeah,
like, I want you to kind of like take me back to like the journey of Caesar.
Man, that's a wild one. That's a wild one, man.
Yeah.
Where do we begin? Where do we start? You know,
Well, Chicago, right?
Born in the Windy City, man. I was born in Cook County Hospital. Cook County Hospital in Chicago proper. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm from Chicago." They're not from Chicago. They're from Waukegan and some Cicero, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Outer skirts. Like I'm from the city. Like I'm from Chicago. Like I'm from Hyde Park. Like I came up like 4 blocks away from where Barack Obama and Louis Farrakhan live. They live around the corner from each other.
Mm.
Like they on the same block. They security guards be beefing sometimes. So that's where I came up. Like I went to Miriam G. Cantor Middle School. Before that, it was Lewis Worth. But before I was in school, right? Before I was in school, I lived in Gary, Indiana, which is the murder capital of the world. It's the LeBron James of murder capitals. Like there were some years where Gary was outnumbering Gaza in like murders, like just murders per capita. It was like Gary was always top 5. Yeah. That's where I started, right? So I was born into a place of fear, if you will. Single mom, brother didn't give a shit. And he was ripping and running the streets himself. Like he was involved in gangs and whatnot. And family cared, but my mom was like this rogue, just I'm gonna do it myself. You know what I mean, kind of woman, strong, real strong-headed. And we lived in a semi-safe place for most of my childhood. But there were always stories of oh, he was gone too soon, or oh, that teenager got shot, or it became very normal for me, and I internalized a lot of fear growing up. And I needed to do something about that. So about 6th grade, I remember I got jumped for the first time. And then, a couple weeks later, I got jumped again. And then about a month later, I got jumped again by different people in my cut.
How does that even happen?
Just
in terms of like time.
You ain't Gary, man. People are just chaos, bro. It's just like they're gonna beat you up because why not?
Yeah.
Like you didn't do nothing to know. But like I'm in the 6th grade. What could I have done to anybody?
Yeah.
And that was just what they was on. It was on some gang shit. Like beat this person up so that you can be, get this check mark.
And you're a target because you're just young.
Because I'm just young and innocent, basically. Yeah. So from there, I want to say, I think that's why I set my innocence down. That's why I was like, oh, okay, this is pointless. Like, and I'm gonna keep this maybe later. You know what I'm saying? Let's bag this, but we need to figure something else out. I leaned into art. I leaned into poetry, drama, trying to just art my way out of it, and that wasn't gonna happen. So I ended up banging my way out of it. I ended up learning how to fight. I ended up.
Like how did that? So well, just in general, like the back-to-back, like you said, you got jumped 3 times within what span?
Couple months. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been jumped before, but so like I remember the feeling of like what that feels like, and the things you go through mentally during that time period. So that for that to happen, I can't even imagine the 3rd time.
Yeah,
where you're at, like
right,
like emotionally.
Yeah, not there. I mean, I told my mom about it, and she, she's a single mom working. She can't be there to protect me, and I never really. This is the weird part, because it's like you never know what you're missing growing up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't know what you don't have. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of stories of like triumph and victory about people that are ignorant to what's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you don't know what protection is, growing up, you don't really know how to protect yourself. You never had it. You never needed it. You never saw it. Right. So my mom, she did her best with protecting me. She went and got like a baseball bat and chased one of the dudes or whatever. And I saw that. I saw this kind of mama bear come out, right? And I thought to myself, well, that's not right. You know, like, 'cause they could all get her if they want. You know what I mean? She's, at this point, I'm 11. She's a little stronger than me, maybe. And I realized that there was a wild deficit there. You know, that there was no patriarch there to be a protector. And
What was the situation with your pops, if you don't mind me?
He was never there. No, he's
just from jump.
I met him when I was like 6, and then we had like a 7-hour conversation when I was like 18, and that was it. Like it was the Cliff Notes. He just gave me the Cliff Notes of manhood,
and just like
over dinner, like
it's like, all right, peace,
and that was that.
Yeah, wow.
And I respect him for that. I respect him because he was wise enough at 18. I was 18. He was 70, something like that. He was wise enough to know that he was too far gone. He knew it. He was too far gone, and he knew it. He knew he wasn't going to be valuable to me. He knew it, and he didn't have a pride about it. He was like, "No, you don't get it. I'm ruined. It's better this way. Like, no, for real. Like, I'm on my 5th wife, my 4th family. Like, I've ruined all of them. Like, and trust me, you're good. Like, you're in the best position. You don't want me involved because I just ruin everything I touch."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so what of value can I take from this? And he was like, okay, I know this is right. This is right. This is right. The rest of it, I don't know. And that was it. But I ended up banging out of it. My play cousins, right? They ended up avenging me from the dudes that jumped me. And I saw just this different world of like violence. And I was about to slide down that pathway, and then I moved to South Carolina.
When you say, so if you'd be more specific on that, like.
Oh man, I had a gun in my hand.
Oh.
Yeah, I was ready.
At 11.
I had a revolver. Yeah.
Or 11, 12.
I was about to just
11 probably, if it's 6th grade, or is this a little bit after that?
11 and a half maybe.
Yeah.
11 and a half, maybe 12. And I was about to put a hole in all of them. Like I was about to.
Shit.
And I realized there was something about that wasn't right. You know, so I told my mom. My mom figured something out, and I moved in with my grandmother down in South Carolina. So while my mom tried to figure it out, my mom was like,
"What was that moment of like you telling your mom? How'd you get a gun at 11 and a half?
My mom had a gun.
Okay, so
Indiana, gun laws is mad lax.
So you just knew where she kept it.
Just get a gun, like you don't even have to go through a process.
So you go to your mom like, yo, I'm thinking about doing this.
Nah, I didn't even. Nah, I think she just noticed it was moved.
Oh,
because I wasn't thorough back then. I wasn't crossing T's and dotting I's. And my mom kept shit like.
So you grabbed it and you were just holding on to it.
I thought about it. I was like, all right, so how do I open it? Like all this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm working up the courage to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think she noticed at that point. So went to go stay with my grandma for a year. Cool off period. Came to Chicago after that for the 8th grade, and I had this. It was like, y'all don't know. Like things started to shift. It became this like, if I'm gonna be if you fuck with me, I'm gonna be the bomb. Like I hope you pull the right wire, because if you don't, we all go out, kind of thing. I became this very explosive individual, full of anger, full of rage in the 8th grade, and that's when I started fighting back. Right from the 8th grade on, I never lost a fight. Somebody started. Okay, I'm gonna finish it. But I was just violent. Like it wasn't even like it wasn't fair.
So you came to South Carolina like a problem, basically, because of your experiences like in Chicago for people. Like I'm sure like people.
The thing is, South Carolina is not violent directly.
Yeah,
it's a very indirect, racist. You know, do it from a distance kind of space, right? It's not in your face. It's not like you can actually square up with your enemy. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying you land in South Carolina, there's like rage probably like built inside of you at this point.
But I was also
just like,
right. But I was also a child, so like Dragon Ball Z was my outlet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like, I see Goku charging up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get home and see that. Like more of that.
Yeah, it's like 3 episodes later. It's finally gonna happen.
Right,
He's finally gonna do the Kamehameha.
Yeah. And it's like finally,
he's been charged up for 3 episodes. I remember that, bro. Just be like, is it gonna happen today?
Yeah, exactly. And that was the same situation with the weapon though. Like it was like, is it gonna happen today? Like kind of sort of. If you think about it, like there's some synonyms there, and it's like, all right, well, getting away from that, I resorted to my fists. And I didn't lose a fight in 8th grade. Didn't lose one partially because of Dragon Ball Z, but also partially because of
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Okay. But partially because of my mom's mama bearism. Like my mom would grab a bat and she didn't care if she busted somebody's head wide open. She just didn't give a shit. It's like, this is a fight. Like you have to know this is a fight. There's no such thing as a fair fight. All this ringside shit. We're not boxing here. This isn't Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll. Like
no honor on
there's no
street fight.
This is and that
kick
was
you in the nuts.
That was instilled. Right? Yeah. Worse. Like, bro, nuts is where it begins. Like that's chapter 1. Like we gonna really
chapter 1. Wear a cup.
Yo, exactly. I didn't know what fighting was. My cousin Yanamor, right? My cousin Yanamor taught me about fighting through comic books. Right, I told him I had problems, and he was like, "Okay, you need to fight like Namor," because he literally named himself after a comic book character. He changed his name to Yah, which is God, and then Namor, which is the Submariner, the only comic book character that ever wrecked the Hulk, like underwater. Like he was just underwater, just like, "Yo, leave us alone." Like he's the king of the mermaids or whatever, and he's just like, "Y'all just whatever y'all doing up there. Who gives you? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like y'all, whatever y'all doing up there doesn't matter." Because y'all gonna end each other anyway. Down here we have peace. You come down here, I'm gonna wreck you. Leave us alone. That's it. My cousin loved that. Loved it. Comic book after comic book, he would show me how Namor fought in a comic book, right? Strip. I learned how to fight, like the mentality of how to fight in the 8th grade from that. And then he was like a bona fide gangbanger. Like he was a Blackstone Ranger. So he was Stones, and he would go to like neighborhoods and territories wearing his colors by himself, knowing that there were assailants on the corners and whatnot, but he would have his shirt off and his shirt lifted up to show that he wasn't armed, like he didn't have a gun on him or whatever. And so it doesn't matter if you have a gun on you. If a person doesn't have a gun on them, it was a sort of honor code where like if you meet them where they are, like we're gonna fight, fist fight. And he would fight these people every day to go to the gym, to go play ball. Like that's just how it was. He was like, I'm gonna go to the court because I got a hoop dream. I don't care about your little faction, whatever. Yeah. And if they fought him to get to the gym, he just fought. That was it. He just fight he was square up, bust somebody's nose, and then go to practice.
This don't even sound real, bro. Like who
this is
like,
Chicago, bro.
Every day?
Daily.
Every day.
When he died, he just recently died from cancer.
Yeah.
Right? He died from cancer. I'm gonna tell you, a dude showed up in his 50s. Okay, a dude in his 50s showed up. Nobody knows who this dude was. This dude was a dude that my cousin fought every day from a rival gang, and he came to pay his respects. He was like, you're one of the most formidable foes ever. Like he sat with him and held his hand while my cousin on his deathbed, he's dying. He was like, we fought every day for like 4 summers because you needed to play basketball on 87th and whatever. And it was like, I had to guard that block, and I would see your ass getting off the train. It's like, oh God, this nigga again. This one again? Hey, get out of here. So-and-so, so-and-so. Throw up your set. The other one throw up his set.
That's different.
Here we go. And he was like, they don't know each other's names. They don't even know each other. They don't know each other at all. And he found out that my cousin was dying. He came to be like, hey, like warrior to warrior. Like it was on some real shit.
So I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. Like if there's like, I don't know what it's like in Chicago, but I feel like, and I've never been about that life in general, right? So like here in Queens, if it's never happened to me, but if I had to fight someone, to go to this park, like I'm going to another park just because it's easier.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why would I fight? Why would I want to fight every day? Is like, nah. I mean, there is. I don't know if it's like a pride thing of like, nah, I'm not gonna let anybody like, not let me go to this park.
Right.
There's other options, but
but But I mean, in Queens, like I would imagine.
I don't know if the setup is different in Chicago.
Eventually, you just get shot in Queens. Eventually, it's just like I'm tired of you. You just because like you hear all the crazy stuff of 50 Cent, and you know what I'm saying, like how he used to roll around in like the backseat of cars.
I mean, Queens is huge, so there's certain areas of Queens that are harder than others.
Okay.
You mentioned 50,
Jamaica,
which is close to me.
Right.
I mean, in general, I mean, I grew up in a pretty strict household, so my parents weren't letting me be out in the streets like that.
Right.
But in general, I'm in my area, if you just like mind your business, like you usually don't run into like, I haven't run into too much trouble. But again, that's my perspective, just not really being out in these streets. But like the park where Lost Boys shot the video for Les Coop's Beamer's
Benz and Bentley. Yeah.
No, not Beamer Benz and Bentley, but Les Coop's Beamer and the Benz.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That park is like 5 blocks away from my crib.
Oh, wow.
So,
got it.
There's like activity like around.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, and stuff happens, but it wasn't like I can't imagine fighting someone every day to go to that park.
Yeah, it's different in Chicago, and this is also back in like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it was different back then.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing shit.
Right.
Yeah, at that, like I was in the crib.
Right.
Like I literally had to come home from school every day. So maybe shit was going on, and like I had no idea. Like I had no idea. But
I mean, so he taught me, you know, the ins and outs of how to fight and why to fight, and then I never lost a fight after that.
Yeah,
and then moving into high school, I started flooding myself into basketball and track, and then moved to Texas. So now I'm on the third coast. Now I'm in Houston, right? Freshman year in high school, I'm in Houston, and I got this wild gangbanger Chicago mentality.
What brought you to Houston?
My mom was Rolling Stone, man. Rolling Stone gathered no moss. Like,
what brought her to Houston?
Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love. Yeah, she fell in love with a man. And I've been battling with myself for my whole life over this. Like since it happened, she was, you know, the way she presented it was just real awkward. But
what'd she say?
How you feel about Houston? I was like, fuck Houston. It was like I'm 13 at this point. Like I'm able to speak, you know, colloquially to my mom because she can't beat me anymore.
What's out at that time? I mean, UGK is out at that time.
Nah,
probably.
Slim Thug was in high school. You got to think about this. Slim Thug graduated 02.
Yeah, UGK was before Slim Thug.
Or 01. Right. So UGK was popping, but they're not in Houston. They're Port Arthur. So that's like Houston area.
Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child was popping.
Destiny's Child.
That's Houston.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's fine. Destiny's Child. Okay, who else? Musically.
Paul Wall?
Not yet. Paul Wall wasn't on yet.
Because he was on like late registration.
They were out.
Because what year are we talking right now? Like let's just like get.
We're talking 2001. 2001, like ninth grade.
Because late registration might have been like 2001.
When
Drive Slow. And Paul Wall was already out for a little bit. Like Grills had already been out. Otherwise, Kanye would not. He would not have been on the Kanye album.
You're funny. When was September 11? For you, what grade were you in?
I'm 8th.
You was in 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in the 9th.
Yeah.
So that's when that happened.
Yeah.
So was Grills out? Was Nelly was popping? Yeah, but that was like the Midwest. That wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, the South.
Yeah.
Like the South really would.
Grills was the first. No. Was Grills the first Paul Wall song that like pop?
When he first got on, it was Grills.
Right.
It was like, it was the first thing that he was really known on.
And then like, what about Still Tippin'? That Still Tippin' was high school. That was later.
That was high school.
Mike Jones.
And that was when Mike Jones and Houston kind of stood up on its own. Yeah. Like that's when Houston stood up and was like, oh, okay, the third coast is a thing.
But UGK was doing that thing for a while. Big Pimpin' was out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Jay-Z,
that was
Big Pimpin'.
That was definitely like, I think that was 7th grade.
But again, it was all features. It wasn't. They didn't have their own.
I mean, in terms of like the big, huge like monster records, but
right,
there's still like Pimp C and Bun,
Pimp,
they're
Pimp C
doing
and Bun B was doing their thing. They were. Of course.
And I'm coming from a New York perspective, so down
Right.
south probably
more.
even more.
So putting it
more.
Okay, so Scarface.
Yeah.
You got to think. So Scarface was putting it down in Houston first, right? He was the first one that had that very unique sound that just traveled.
Right.
You know, it was not denied.
Ghetto Boys too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So, but again, they didn't recognize those were groups. That wasn't like that wasn't a region.
Yeah.
It was like, it was kind of like Outkast. Like
He was in Ghetto Boys, right? Or like he was in a group, Scarface.
I think
I know
so.
Ghetto Boys like Bushwick Bill and like Bushwick Bill's the only.
I don't know him like this. Like you the lifeline on this.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up.
If this is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'm calling you. I'm like, call Serge, man. I don't know.
And I'm Googling it.
Yeah. I mean, Scarface was putting it down in the same way. Okay. I imagine it to be like Outkast in Atlanta. Outkast, Southern Playalistic Cadillac.
Scarface was in Ghetto Boys. I was
Okay,
right.
got
Bushwick Bill, Scarface, and Willie D.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right. So nobody knew Atlanta had a whole bunch of rappers. They just knew, Outkast was kicking ass. And then out of nowhere, people just start standing up. Like, all of a sudden, Southern rap is a thing. So then Houston rap, like I was in high school when Houston rap started to become a thing. Down there, I don't know. I just had a different mentality. They're gangsters down there for sure. Like the thugs are down there, but they just move at a different pace. They just move at a very different pace. It's much slower.
Because Chicago's a city, right?
Chicago gangbangs for a different reason. They don't do it for the same reasons as other regions. Like the way I was taught was that everybody has one op, and that's the police, right? Because the police have always tried to undermine what black people are doing in Chicago, no matter what. Yeah. Like as soon as black people start organizing themselves, Chicago comes in and the police, they just start undoing shit. Yeah. You want to wait for the siren?
It's cool.
All right. Speaking of police.
Let it happen. Right?
Speaking of police, universe. Okay.
That's funny.
But anyways, so gangs.
They're just letting you know they're always around,
Right.
Like, I hear you.
Right. So oh yeah? Yeah? That's what you got to say? No, that's funny. NYPD don't care, man. NYPD does a good job, but Anyway, in Chicago, you're taught from a young age that gangs are necessary. That like where you're born, you're a part of that gang, period. Like you're a man of color, you're born here, you don't have an option. In the 80s and 90s, you don't have an option. Like I was from Hyde Park, I'm a Stone. That's it. I didn't have a choice, right? My cousins and them, they live in a place that's called Lawless. It's literally called, like they changed the legal name of the neighborhood to Lawless, Lawless. Like that's where they live. And it's like the police do not go there. They just don't. You got a problem, come outside. Bring it outside because we're not going in that building. We not. That's where they live. Like, you know what I mean? And so moving that way is gangs were never for drugs and pimping and all this, like what the media makes them out to be. Gangs do a lot more good in Chicago in the 80s and 90s than the police ever did. They did a lot more good for the neighborhood. I tell this story sometimes where there's this old woman that had her house broken into. Every 1st and 15th, she gets her house broken into. She calls the police. Police say, do you have a description of the dude? She gives them a description. Nothing's done about it. She knows what a dude is. Police don't care. She puts nails through a wooden board by her windows, right? The same window he breaks in through. He comes in, steps on the nails, right? Bam, he goes to the hospital. Who goes to jail? The lady. The old woman goes to jail because she booby-trapped her house. So, whatever. It's illegal for you to do this. You can't hurt people in your house or whatever. Here she's trying to lean on the police for help, and the police don't help her, right? She's trying to help herself, and now she goes to jail. The law undermines her even further. Yeah. Gangs see the insanity of this. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is insane. This is a woman that's helpless, trying to defend herself, and y'all are just being more helpless. Like, y'all are just making this worse. Like, you're really sending this old lady to jail because she tried to defend herself. Shut up. So gangs come in. Who's a dude? Okay, that's a dude. They go get the dude, bring the dude to the lady. Is this him? Yeah, that's him. They beat him up. Say, don't do this again. You do this again, it's a problem. We're make an example out of you and your whole family. Go away. And the problem's solved. Right? Now, you could say this is against the law, it's illegal, you can't do this, can't do that. But this is what the police do for white folks. This is what they do for them. But they don't do this for us in the same hood. And so when you're looking at gangs from a Chicago perspective, because they don't have a publicity company, a pub, like we can't market ourselves well.
Yeah.
Like everybody's going to say gangs in Chicago is a bad rap. But it's like, nah, the little interspersing stuff that you see between these little youngsters or whatever, drill rap bullshit, it's way more organized and way deeper than that. Like you've got entire treaties that are, formed on the underground and it's necessary. Like nothing happens because just out of nowhere. Like the gangs wasn't just a good idea. It was like everything that exists has been produced. Like if you look at the geometry of gangs, like when they start doing gang signs and shit, like they've got symbolisms and religions and stuff behind all this. Like there's a code of ethics that they're all held to. And they know each other's codes. That's the wild part. It's like they don't just know their own, they know yours. So if I'm an OG and I see you acting out, I'm gonna tell your OG that you was acting out with evidence. Your OG is gonna correct you because you violated your own code of ethics. Hey, this is better than what the police are doing. This is accountability. We've been trying to hold the police accountable for how long? Right? Okay, so down south, not that there's nothing bad about Houston, but like the gangsters just have given, I'm gonna say they've given up, but it's like they've just resorted to gangs being about money, right? It's drugs, it's violence, it's how do we get past it?
And there's truth to it all. It's just I think what you're saying is like only the bad gets focused on.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like there's still
the media
there's a duality that's going on that gangs are
Chicago is incredibly safe.
Trying to protect like a community.
Like people worry about the gangs. You're never gonna get stuck up in Chicago. Like little kids might, for having fun or whatever, but like give them your iPhone, whatever, just go away. But if you don't take them seriously, they know they're not serious. They know they're not. Like, you know what I mean? If you run into some trouble, it's You know what I mean? It's very small compared to what it could be. People, your physical safety is not in any jeopardy when you go to Chicago, at all. And everything that you could possibly, and this is again crazy, wild, slim chance that you're robbed. Everything's replaced with taking a credit card.
That's very opposite of like I have to fight to go to the park every day though.
Exactly. But that's because you're in a gang in Chicago and you live there. And so if you're a visitor, like on Michigan Avenue, nothing's happening to you. Like, shut up. Like you're gonna walk across the bridge and somebody's gonna get you. Like, no, this shit is completely.
What if you're from Chicago but you're not in a gang?
Neutral territory.
So it's just a matter of like the environment you're a lot of the time probably like born into.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're in one hood going to another hood.
Yeah.
You're not going through downtown. Nobody's hood is downtown.
It's just like you happen to move into this place and then you didn't know, or your mom didn't know that this was like
and that's just
certain territory of this.
Yeah. And it doesn't start as gangs. It starts as a street watch. You know what I mean? You're watching the street trying to keep it safe. Old ladies getting off the bus, getting off of work. You want to keep them safe from these beggars, these robbers, these stealers, whatever. And it's like Blackstone Range is what they're doing. They got posts on every corner all night, 24 around the clock, radios. They didn't own neighborhood security. Why? Because the police, they ain't going to do shit. You know this. You can't rely on Chicago Police Department. You can't. So the young men have a duty to protect their neighborhood. And that's just how it goes. Yeah. So it's like once somebody decides they're going to organize some bullshit in your neighborhood and they're from some other place, you got to protect yourself. You got to do that. And it's, you know what I mean? That's kind of why you fight. That's kind of where. And so trying to, again, wrangle me. I'm on mushrooms, bro. Back to Houston.
Yeah.
Houston's where I started working out, right? When I really started leaning into the pain of physical development. broke mad records for like defense and shit, and was really just harnessing anger.
For defense and what?
Defensive stats for like basketball, so like rebound. I was like Dennis Rodman, basically.
Okay.
Basically, it was basically Dennis Rodman, wild kid. I was friends with everybody. First of all, I was in every group. I was in the honor society, the emo kids, everybody. Right? I was just everybody just be peaceful. I was friends with the Mexicans. Like I tried to speak Spanish.
So you're thriving
in Houston, yeah.
Socially and
trying my best, man.
Academically, and
yeah, trying my best.
Sports, okay.
And yeah, it was one hit after another, bro. It was just one emotional tag after another, dog. It was just piece by piece, just one thread at a time. That's the worst way to take somebody apart. I'm in the gym. I'm getting strong, right? I'm benching 225 now, right? I'm like, and I'm coming from puny. I could not bench the bar as a freshman. The bar was too much. I almost died on a bench press machine trying to lift the bar with no weights on it. Yeah. It almost broke my ribs. Now I'm pushing 225. Like you get out of my way. I'm 225, I'm 6'4", I'm aggressive, I'm angry. And the man that my mom falls in love with turns out to be an asshole. He's an alcoholic. Can't control himself. Okay. Me and him get into it. My mom's heart is torn between a son and a man, dude she falls in love with. And she chooses him, knowing that our bond is unbreakable because mother-son, you can't break that. She just decides to test that one and chase after the other one.
Because that bond is breakable, so she chooses the
correct
option.
So she chooses him.
She wants to keep both.
Right. And she's making bad decisions.
But at that time, I'm sure you don't have that type of...
I don't have any kind of insight at all. Like, I'm not in therapy at all. Like, fuck you talking
You're
about?
Probably just like...
I'm letting it all out in the gym.
Angry, yeah.
I'm just in the gym. That's it. I'm mad. I don't even know why. I'm confused. I put it in my studies and I put it in the gym.
What was the altercation?
There were several, man. But I think the wildest one is when he raised his voice at my mom's. He raised his voice at her. Got physically violent, and I broke him. Now he was a huge dude. Dude wrestled in college. Dude was like 225 and strong, like 6'3", 225 and strong, and I broke him. Anger. Just anger wins. I don't get beer muscles are not stronger than real muscles. like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And I'm just piss and vinegar, man. Anyway, from there, I think it was too late. At that point, it was like I don't know what I'm doing, man. I ended up graduating, hoping that my mom would be happy, right? And I put all my energy into doing well for school, right? I became a magna cum laude, like I was like top of the class. This and that, athlete, crazy letters. I had like 20 to 30 varsity letters. Like, it was crazy. And
you're staying where at this point?
This is in Houston.
But it's still with your mom? Still with
my mom,
okay.
Yeah. And she was not happy that I graduated because she just wasn't happy, period. She expected the dude to be there. She wanted the dude there. So my graduation is terrible because the dude's not there because I got into it. So she's conflicted. Fuck is you talking about? Like, your son's coming across the stage. Anyway, so that was very confusing for me. I didn't really know what to do or what to lean into in terms of happiness. I didn't know what to lean into in terms of like, what should my life be about now, right? Because it's not about making my mom proud, because that's pointless. Like, I did as good as I could do, got scholarships and all this, and she's still not happy. So this is a dead end, right? I can't do this. Like, if I just keep doing this, I'm gonna be depressed. Like, I'm gonna off myself because my life is pointless. She can't make herself happy. She can't do much for herself at that point. And I'm learning through trial and error that her life is not my responsibility, right? At that point, I had become my own father. I'd become my own my own patriarch, my own mother. I become my mother's father. Like, she had put me into a position of responsibility. Like, I had a job, so I was paying bills. Like, I'm maintaining a partial household. I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning drinking coffee. As a high schooler, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? To do what? To get to practice so I can get off of practice so I can go to work. You know what I mean? Like, what is this about? And so I become this individual, this kid that for the mask of responsibility, oh, you're becoming a responsible young man. It's like, no, I'm an actual parent. At this point, I'm parenting. Like, I'm maintaining my mom's emotional state. Like, I'm making sure she eats. I'm making sure I eat. I'm bringing home food for both of us. Like, who's the caretaker? Who's the provider here?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't notice that that's what was unfolding. So I had been groomed into being a caretaker of a borderline / narcissist person, right? And I didn't know what that was, right? So I was caught in that rapture, I was enraptured in that. And I didn't really know what that was. It was just a vortex of confusion, emotional confusion. So I tried to get out, going through college. College doesn't work out because I don't have the spoons.
You don't have the spoons. I never heard that term before.
Oh, for a person on the spectrum, right? Yeah. When they don't have the energy to talk to you,
yeah,
it's not your fault. It's that they don't have the energy.
Yeah.
Right. So you might take it personally. You shouldn't. It's like, I just don't have it. I don't have it. And so they would like to refer to it as spoons. I don't have the spoons right now.
Okay.
I don't have the attention span.
Okay.
You know, I'm not in that. You know, that's how they do it. Not that I am on the spectrum, but I like the terminology for whatever reason. But from there, dropped out of college, made lifelong friends for sure. What's up, Jenna? But dropped out of college and went to work, right? Thought I was just going to get a job and try to figure it out as a 19-year-old with 3 semesters in biochemistry. And I was living in my backseat of my car. My mom was homeless at that point. She had lost the house and she didn't even tell me.
So, yeah, go. Oh, yeah, okay.
So this
like, could you go over that period? Because like, how do you find out?
My mom has a pattern. She has a real wild pattern of just losing homes. Like, she just loses them. The first house I remember, I mean, the mortgage was so cheap. Like, the mortgage was crazy cheap. I think the whole house was $30K. The whole, like, $30,000 house on a 30-year mortgage. Think about that. It's $10,000 a year. Excuse me. It's $10,000 every 10 years. It's $1,000 a year. You're paying $1,000 a year, not a month like us. Like, no, this is $1,000 a year you're paying.
Yeah.
How did you mess that up?
Yeah.
You could do that being a cocktail waitress one day a week, you know what I mean? And make that no problem. Plus you on food stamps. Like, I remember having food stamps in my hand when it was colorful. It was Monopoly money to me. Like, how did you fumble that?
So where do you think
she's got a habit of
finances were going? Like, was she working full time?
She got a gambling problem, man. She's gambling. She's a gambler. She loves to gamble. She loves a slot machine. Can't walk away from a slot machine. Got to try. It could be this. It might be ready to go. You never know. And that's how she is. That's it. I remember being in the lobby of, because you can't bring kids into a casino.
Yeah.
I remember being in the lobby waiting for my mom to go gamble at Harrah's in Joliet, Indiana or some shit. She would be in there gambling for like hours. And I'm just like a 7 or 8-year-old taking care of myself at a buffet, like surrounded by old people that are just like, where's your mom? And I'm like, in there. I don't know. Just waiting on her to come out. So she would use the buffet as like childcare. Makes sense, right? Wow, just that's the kind of shit that like addicts do. Like, when you a gambling addict, you leave your kids somewhere. You will.
That's crazy.
I mean, and just like looking back at it, I never even thought of. I haven't thought of it since now.
Yeah.
Like, just like, damn, that's mad. I don't even do that to my dog.
Yeah.
Like, I don't leave my dog tied up outside. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though people do that, I don't do that. And so, yeah, I just realized I had just become role of parent, like take care of myself. Like I just gotten that, and I was hyper independent at that point, and I didn't really know being hyper independent and also being separated from the rest of my family, my core family, because my mom's a black sheep. She's burned a bunch of bridges, and so me being offspring of a black sheep, it's hard to have empathy for the offspring of the black sheep. Even you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not having the same kind of relationship that I was supposed to have with the rest of my family. It was just very weird. It just left me on this really independent situation. So like I became this man isolated. Dropped out of college. Knew Texas was cool, but it wasn't for me. Chicago roots. Took a lot from that, but I know the gangbang is not the route.
I'm surprised you I know you're not shitting on Houston, but but the way you've spoken of Houston since I've known you has always been like very prideful. It's always been like
it's H-Town down. Like
you rep it hard.
I've adapted into Houston culture for sure.
So when you say it wasn't for you, that's
why I'm in New York.
Yeah,
you gotta think about it. That's why I'm here. Because it's like even though I don't love Houston. I have an affinity for Houston. What do you say? Like Houston.
Yeah, I mean I get it because like as someone who grew up in New York City, like I got a hate love relationship with the city too.
Yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
Like.
Yeah.
There's no place like it, but it's like equally as good, as bad as it is good.
Right. I got love stories down there. You know what I mean? There's a love-hate relationship, like you say. Like there's a desolation there. There's a certain, like growing up on, and I'll rep my hood right now, it's Antoine, right? I grew up on Antoine between DeSoto. Antoine to DeSoto, that's my block, okay, in Houston. Between Antoine and Tidwell, right? That was the route, if you will. You can go all the way up to West Gulf Bank. I put that also on the map, West Gulf Bank and Antoine. When they talk about tipping on fofos, right? 4 acres homes. That's the general region. And then what side is it? It's the northwest side. So
the 4 acre homes, can you what's that? I never knew. I'm from New York. I never knew what tipping 4-4s meant. It just sounded cool in the song.
So Houston has a lot of tongue-in-cheek colloquialisms, right? So there's a lot of.
I feel like we should listen to tipping for still tipping right now.
I mean, yeah, rock it, yeah, play it. Sure,
let's do it.
Still tipping on 4-4, rep on 4-4. Anyway,
will you be able to like put a pin in where you're at?
What do you mean?
Like in the conversation.
Sure. It's got a lot of tongue-in-cheek colloquialisms. It leans into it. And this is the reason why I love it. This is one of the reasons why I love Houston. Because the whole culture of Houston.
I'm going to master this fade-in situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead.
So.
Yeah, dude. We can always go back over it.
Hey.
To the same high
I didn't
school.
know you was gonna go full music video on me.
No, that's a part of your Houston.
I feel that. It's like if Quiet Storm comes on, bro.
You
like,
have to.
I gotta.
Word for word. You have to.
Yeah.
Just being a Queens rep, you got to do it. You have to do it. Everybody else, shut up. This is my part.
It's involuntary.
This is my part.
Yeah.
All right. Shout to Chicago New School. This is my part. Nobody else speak. Okay, nobody else. Anyway, so coming up in that, he's talking about, growing up. I went to the same high school as him. Slim Thug graduated the year I came.
Word?
Yeah. People was like, oh, you look like Slim Thug.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's where y'all traded notes on
dumb,
how
right?
to wear your hair and how to dress and how to shave your beard and shit.
Man. Slim Thug did it right though. He did it right.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
You missing the grills though. You missing
I
the
had
grills.
them. I had them.
I want to get some grills,
bro. You should.
I'm gonna get some bottoms
They're
at some point.
Fun.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun.
I can see you with some grills, actually.
Bro, but it's kind of gross.
Why?
Because like when you take them out, like it's
like the dental part, or just like the
when
hygienic
yeah,
part.
Yeah,
of
hygienically is just weird. It's kind of gross.
Okay,
like if you know what I mean, you want to keep them to a minimum, like because there's no drainage. It's weird. Like if you get them all like grilled out. I had top 8, bottom 6. Like I had a full set.
Hey,
dumb.
I could see that.
It was dumb. So grills. Okay, gangsta grills, right?
Yeah.
You could talk about Houston from any aspect of how Pimp C kind of honed it in, right? he said on an interview, don't be mad at the youngsters if they want to wear chains and piece and chain and ride in shiny cars. It's because we're all kings and we all came from Africa. So we're attracted to gold and diamonds and all this kind of stuff. Like you can't take that out of us. It's in our DNA. It's in our genes. Like we can't stop being attracted to gaudiness. Like, cause that's what Africa is. Africa is where all the gold and all the jewels and all the diamonds come from. So that's how we celebrate. Like that's how we are. And so he said, don't be mad at the youngsters if they start shining like that, because that's just what it is. And so Houston has taken that, and as I understand it, they've taken it and they've adopted into their culture and into their language and into their unspoken language more than anything. Mm. So you put shiny stuff on what you do in Houston. That's the wild part. Okay, rappers all have grills. They have to have them. Why? Because it's the energy that I emit, right? As a person in Houston, as a black person in Houston that's adapted into the culture, has manifested into gold and diamonds and platinum and all this. This is how valuable it is. So rappers have the grills. The better rapper you are, the wilder your grill is. Mm. You see what I'm saying? If you're a drug dealer, okay?
Rims? Nah.
Cameo. It's like candy.
Yeah.
You ever heard that song?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, you know the song, right?
Yeah.
You know what the song's about?
Nah.
Play the song.
Okay.
Cameo, Candy. Go ahead, I'm gonna put you up on game. Here we go.
I would guess just like candy would probably be drugs. Like
what kind of drugs?
I don't know. I don't know the lyrics to the song like that.
Just skip to the middle. Any part of the middle.
Let me fade it in first.
Easy. And when this come out? Right?
Yeah, my eyes roll. I got the lyrics up in Spotify.
I toss and turn in my bed when I think about you.
Yeah.
What is he doing? He's jonesing.
Wait, no, the real, like the important line, but before that, right before that too, my eyes roll in my head.
Uh-huh.
I toss and turn in my bed in the morning when I think about you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's jonesing.
Which could be.
No, brother.
What?
It's nothing else. It could be love, right?
Yeah,
it could be a person.
Yeah, no, just like sexual, like you're really into.
Very well written song.
Yeah.
It's about drugs. It's about cocaine specifically. Cocaine specifically. It's about either that or heroin, one or the other, right? If you're slinging something white, right? You have in Houston candy paint on your car. Candy. And the level that you're slinging is akin to how many coats of clear you have over that candy coat.
Shut up.
Dripping wet. I'm swinging, I'm dripping because the car just came out the paint shop.
Yeah.
Put more coats of clear on it because that's the level of product I'm holding. You see what I'm saying? So as it's manifesting, I'm blowing your mind right now.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
You know I'm skeptical, so I'm like,
I got you.
Like,
No,
is this
no,
real?
I'm gonna carry.
I
this
trust
through.
you.
I'm gonna carry this through.
Yeah.
So if you're Candy Red,
but I need Bun B right here to. I need some follow up.
He'll rep.
Yeah, so, I need the mayor of Houston.
Get Bun on and let him verify.
Yeah.
You ride red, you from the South, you from South Houston. You ride blue, you from the North, right?
Yeah.
But regardless of what color you ride, you have clear coats of paint on your car if you're a drug dealer. That's just how it goes. When you parked outside, that's a clear billboard to anybody that is after that.
Yeah.
This person is making money, which means they have quality product. Which means I need to be buying from this person if I'm in the market for it. That's just how that goes. They ride Chevys, 87, 88, 89, 90, Impalas, whatever, because drug dealers cannot show that they're making money on paper. So where'd you get this money for this 2050 Benz? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the IRS is coming for you. You got an 87 Chevy, box Chevy. My taxes is $500 a year. Why? Because I'm broke on paper. But if I got $40,000 worth of paint, rims, sound system, so on and so forth, you see I got money, but on paper, nah, I don't. So this is how drug dealers do it. You know what I mean? When the product is not white. It is something smoked. It's green. They don't have candy paint. They have a cool color, sure. But what do they have in the back? Speaker system. Got six monoblock D amps wired to 0.5 ohm, shaking a block, right? Why? Weed is what? Loud. How loud is your weed?
No, but loud was like as far as I know, like a more recent term. It wasn't.
It's been around.
Back then?
Been around.
Okay.
You smell that?
Yeah.
You can hear it. Like, it's so loud you can hear it.
Like, how did that not make it in a song until like way later?
Because you don't break.
Like, I feel like Wayne was the first I was hearing.
Everybody brags on their car. Think about it. In Houston rap.
Yeah. But I'm saying using weed is loud. In particular, I feel like Wayne might have been the first I heard doing that, like during his like run back in like 2012.
It's been a Southern thing. It's been a Southern term. I mean, Wayne might have put it on. You know what I mean? Moving forward, but like when you was talking about like Reggie Miller, Reggie Bush, like regular, like it didn't. Like I think you talking about Wayne talking about.
Like when Carter 3, like that whole run. Like,
I got that loud pack, Weed Man, bring that noise.
Smoking on that loud, like he just would always.
Right.
Yeah,
so I think it took up. It was always loud down south. Like on the third coast, like weed had a bunch of names, of course, but loud was a part of it. Like metaphors for loud have always been in that kind of vernacular. If you go back to like Houston rap, like lyrics, but if you're selling that, you want people to know, like, you have a loud sound system, so you bang and screw, right? You bang that. If your car is purple, it's representative of lean, right? So if it's some wild color like green or purple or whatever, that's also the product that you carry. So if it's grape flavor, like grape Sprite or whatever it is, that's the color of your car.
Wait, how do we get to? Because now you're talking about syrup.
Why I love Houston? So sipping syrup, this and that.
Yeah.
All these.
So how did we get from cocaine and heroin to syrup? I know syrup is like essentially heroin, but like
so how Houston culture has turned something detrimental into something celebratory and ornate. How I can actually celebrate in the faces of these white folks and they still don't get it.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally riding around this car and you just, oh, that's a nice car. Like you it's right in your face.
Yeah.
Shiny as hell. The wildest car you've seen on the freeway all day and you have no clue. Like you're suspicious. You're suspicious that something's going on, but you can't really nail it because you're not in the loop. And it's like, if you're in the loop in Houston culture, you get it.
Where you're missing me is though, like what I'm not following is if you spend a lot of money on a car versus you spend a lot, like just to, like on the face value of the car itself versus spending money on dressing a car that doesn't cost as much out the gate, which is what I think you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference, really? You're still spending a lot of money. You're still being out here being flashy and like making yourself a target, right?
One is on the books and one ain't. So think about it.
How are neither of them on the books?
How can you prove that I bought these rims? I paid cash. How can you prove that I painted?
I don't know about now, but
there's no
back then you could pay cash for a car.
Sure, but like
you probably pay cash for a car now too.
Tens of thousands of dollars from
but you probably gonna get some questions
from a dealership. Think about it. Okay, and it's a paper trail. Your name, your registration, your address, all this.
Right.
Versus rims.
Yeah.
I don't know why you buying rims. I don't know who they for. I don't need all that. Just here's your rims. Here's your tires.
Yeah.
Go on. You know what I mean? So in every kind of conceivable way, interiors, right? Interiors redone. The interior man don't care nothing about who you are. Just drop the car off with the money. That's it. You come back, you got white pipes. That's it. You got crocodile leather with white piping. Here, give me my 10 grand and go on. You know what I mean? So it's on the books money.
But I think externally you're probably still looking just as suspicious.
Yeah, of course.
Even if you can't follow the
of course,
trail.
but you can't prove it. That's the thing. It's like you can't, you just can't prove it. Like I got money in my teeth.
Yeah.
Why would I have $20,000 worth of platinum and diamonds in my mouth?
Yeah.
You can't. The dentist did this. I don't know.
So it's like stunting within the confines of the matrix.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I
Yeah.
think they really nailed that down south and in Houston specifically. Like they really, really nailed it. Atlanta also got to give them props for it, but it's been a southern thing for sure. And it started, I think, with pimp culture. Like pimp culture is like how you knew like somebody was pimping, had money, so on and so forth. Like, you know. Anyway, that's one of the reasons why I love Houston, right? Why I'm forever bonded to it.
Because
being involved in that, like, okay, I got it. Like, I've gotten chills, like, from sound systems and shit. Like, you know, so I've been adapted into that. But
and I guess when you hear like these verses, like I don't know, is Cameo from Houston? No, right?
nah, I don't think so.
But that was just popular in Houston.
I mean, yeah, they've really tapped into that song, like their music, like the music that they've done for themselves. That's the hardest. That's the hardest part. It's like they started their own record label, did their own shit, didn't care about distribution, just wanted to hear it off mixtape strength, like Rap A Lot Records, like, you know what I mean, Swisher House Records. Like nobody ever heard of this at all. It's not a part of Epic or Sony Music Group, and they just did their own thing in their own isolated pocket, and still, you know, stood on business about it. You know, like if that's the current colloquial term, right? But it's like they really did establish themselves.
You didn't have to like correct yourself, bro. Let it happen.
Right. So
stand on your business, bro.
So yeah, when you hear about Swisher House and Rap A Lot and how proud they are of those things, like it's small compared to Sony or whatever, but like they're fiercely proud. Can't shut these people. They have heroes down there. They have heroes, and they're irreplaceable. Like Beyonce is on par with Zero in Houston. Zero to Crooked and Beyonce on the same level.
Well, I was gonna bring Zero up because I know you brought him up before, but earlier conversations we've had outside of here. But
man,
I want to come back to that because I've loved this detour. I want to put a pin in this detour and go back to you being in Houston. You're
confused. All right, cool,
you're in the gym. You're
right. There's a lot of that. There's also adaptation into Houston culture for sure. And then get out of high school, go to college. College doesn't work out.
Where'd you go to college?
Texas State.
Okay.
So
that's not the Longhorns, is it?
Nah, San Marcos. That's the Wildcats or something like that.
Longhorns is what? University of Texas?
That's UT.
Okay.
Yeah. So right down
Vince Young?
Right.
Yeah.
Came out with Vince. Oh my
That's
God.
probably around that. That might be close to, yeah?
This is the same time. Yeah, Vince Young was out there running shit.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And little known, Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Kevin Durant and Vince Young was on UT campus together.
Oh, wow.
Bro, think about that.
Wow.
Like that's problems.
Yeah.
Like they were running amok in Austin. Like amok. So the party scene out there, it was silly. Anyway, I had a lot of fun in Houston. A lot of fun in Texas, but it wasn't for me because essentially there's racist components. And I ended up joining the military. I worked for a little bit, tried to get on my feet.
How did you end up getting involved with that? It was like a recruiter or some shit, or like?
Yeah, I was working for Yahoo.com fixing people's websites. Like rich people that had like e-commerce websites, I was fixing their websites for like $11 an hour, some stuff, stupid shit like that.
Web design.
Dumb. Like they would just break their website.
I'm kind of mad at myself that we didn't like properly intro all the things you do, but we'll get to that at some point.
Silly.
We'll get to that at some
silly. Point. It was simple stuff. It was, go back, see what they did wrong, hit the undo button. Easy shit. You know, nothing crazy. I didn't have to go redesign their website, logos and all like that.
Can you pass me a water?
Sure.
You can also have one, of course.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're talking a lot, so as you should be. But I'm just
bet. So that was a dead end job, and then I was gonna work for ExxonMobil as like a oil rigger, and that was the hardest work. It was crazy hard work. And that was like 40, 45 an hour, but you had to go.
How'd you get into that job?
That was just around. In Texas, like that was just a job that nobody wanted that paid crazy money, but it's just a miserable fucking job.
And an oil rigger does what exactly?
Man, he operates the rig. He keeps it clean.
What's the rig? I mean, it's the truck, I assume, right?
No, it's not a truck. It's a machine that's drilled into the earth.
Okay.
And oil's coming out the ground. Like, and you got to tap into that, like a tap. So he's the person that's turning the wrenches. And
So you probably coming home every day just like black.
You don't
like,
come
just
home.
Like oil. Oh, you don't come home.
You don't come home. You stay out there. You stay out there for
What? Nah.
You don't. Your new home is the rig, bro.
Nah. What are these hours like? If you're
No, you're on for weeks at a time. You don't come home. I'm not playing.
all right, but they got a bed for you somewhere.
Yeah, you sleep.
Okay.
Like you have like a bunk, but like you smell like oil, like all the time. Like
What kind of place is this?
It's
like,
hell. It's a place for convicts to make money, rebuild their life. Straight up. That's what it is. You go to jail, you get out, you need a decent job.
But can you paint the picture for me? So like what?
You get on a bus
Yeah.
like you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Okay. You get shipped out to a distant place that has an oil rig in the
Where
middle.
does this bus run? How do you apply for this job? I'm so serious.
A recruiter, right?
Yeah.
Somebody reaches out, they have an interview. Okay, you're a fit person. You got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a heartbeat.
So someone sees you walking down the street like, hey.
Nah. You send in your application, and they see you have nothing on your resume. Perfect.
Okay.
You have nothing. Like you
send
nothing.
your application where?
To ExxonMobil,
Okay.
to the people that do oil
Okay.
rigging jobs,
Okay.
like the connectors, right?
Okay.
So they have a bunch of those out there. But
How'd you get in your mind to apply for that job specifically?
I heard through a grapevine.
Okay.
It was a thing.
Yo, this
to
pays
do.
bread.
Yeah, it's like it's
And-
a thing.
and
You can come away with money, like
and you're in a situation
so
because at this moment you said you're homeless.
right.
Where are you living exactly? Like out of a car?
I'm living in the
on a
back of my Acura.
Okay.
Acura Legend, yeah.
Word.
Riding on 20s.
Riding on stunting though.
I was on
Stunting.
20s with a Kenwood system in the back, sleeping in the back seat. Yeah.
Word.
I was eating leftover Popeye's chicken every day.
And this is after college.
This is when I dropped out. I dropped out of college. Thought I was gonna go home. Didn't have a home to go to.
What age were you? Like how many years of college did you do?
I did 3 semesters. I did 2.5 semesters. So I went from 05 to 06, enrolled in the 06 fall semester and just couldn't cut it. So I got out of it. Was like that. So it was like I graduated high school 05, went fall of 05, spring of 06, dropped out fall of 06, and landed on my ass. Like I was staying with my girl at the time, right? And her family, they were gracious enough to let me bathe and shit like that. But, you know, I couldn't like sleep over. She's a Catholic Mexican girl. And where I slept when I wasn't in her house was in the back of my car for sure. And when I needed to like iron my clothes and shit, like I would go to work like 2 hours beforehand, like before my shift would start, and go in the bathroom with the cleaners, and I'd be like in there cleaning my shirts and stuff. Yeah, and I was like, that was miserable, because when you look at it, it's like I applied for food stamps, I applied for, you know, Section 8 and all this, and all that process is I'm gonna die out here waiting on this government to try to take care of business. Like I'm in an emergency situation, and they didn't have the resources really. They're like, oh, you want to go over here with these drug addicts, like in a shelter, like, and deal with that, or you want to take your chances on the street? Because like women have like battered women shelters and this and that, but dudes don't really have it like that. Mm-hmm. Dudes, battered men's shelter. You ever heard of it? There's a few, but it's not a very common thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's even hard to even.
It's halfway houses for us.
Yeah.
You know, halfway between jail, between rehab, and it's just for people that are troubled and in trouble.
Yeah.
But don't really have a problem. There's no place that's really for them. You know what I mean? There's, like, you just get funneled into whatever. And I wasn't about to do that. So I was like, I got to do something now. And I went to a job fair, and this recruiter was walking around, and he was like, yo, you look like you ready to go to the military. And I was like, yeah, right. And he was like, yo, we got a $40,000 signing bonus. And I was like, 40 racks for signing my name on a piece of paper?
Bet.
Say
less.
Shit, that should have been a winning lotto ticket for me.
Yeah.
Like where I was at that bottom space.
But weren't you making, because you said the oil rigging paid,
Bro,
right?
You was gonna die out there, and they don't care, bro. If you died on the rig, don't matter. Your family gets money to replace you immediately.
Yeah.
Like that shit is dangerous.
But
And
but you said it paid well, right?
Bro, it doesn't matter.
And it's a lot of hours. So like, how do you
drink swallow some oil? Just swallow.
No. I'm
like
not. I'm not saying.
Just
I'm not.
take a swig.
No. Hear me out. I'm just saying like. So, what? Where was the money going in terms of like?
No, I only worked for like one shift.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't
okay.
swing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I wasn't. I was out there for like 3 weeks.
Because I would imagine if
and I was like, hell no to this. Like I paid. Like I gave my girl at the time some money, like as a thank you. You know what I mean, for holding it down. Yeah. And I think I paid off whatever little credit cards I had or whatever. And then I was just like, now what?
Yeah, because I would imagine you're probably like, this shit's gonna kill me. This is gonna kill my spirit.
Yeah.
I need to get out of here.
People were dying. Exxon kills people. It's just, it's just a different way of dying. But it's like, he died at work. It's like, you killed him at work.
Illuminati's coming for me on podcast episode number 1. That's great.
You can cut that part if you want.
No.
You can cut it if you want.
Let it live. But we going after the Giants.
It's dark out there. I'm just saying it's dark. So I'm at a job fair. Recruiter finds me, offers me 40 racks. I'm like, bet. That's on a Friday. I was in Buddy's office on Monday. Right, I was in his office on Monday. I was signing papers on I took a test and everything. I took an ASVAB and all that. One shot goes, dropped like a 97 on it. I was like, yeah, I got one of the best scores ever. He was like, you can do whatever you want. I was like, bet, make me a doctor.
There's parallels here a little bit to David Goggins, which is like kind of funny,
it's wild. I was in the office immediately. I was like, yo, it's over. Like, good. Whatever.
Because you kind of show up in like,
tatters.
Like, what have I got to lose? Kind of,
for sure. Like Goggins had a house at least.
Yeah.
Goggins had a place where he could call home. He had an address.
Yeah.
I ain't had an address.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him out right now. Fuck David Goggins. No. Bring David Goggins.
Yo.
Now summon him.
Yo, you say his name one more time and be like Beetlejuice, bro.
He's gonna come to the door. Do some push-ups right now. Let's do it, me and you right now. 100 push-ups. Like, yo, Goggins, this is for you. Pull-ups, you got me. Nothing else. I swear to God, nothing else. I passed the only training you didn't. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
Yo.
Shut your Goggins mouth. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
No. That's a gangster coming.
You know that's what's gonna get clipped. That's out of our control.
That's not gonna happen. Yeah.
They're like, somebody's gonna take that.
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
He called him out. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Celebrity boxing.
Yeah. I don't want no smoke, Goggins.
I'll take smoke with him. I don't care. Goggins is cool. I
Goggins is inspirational.
165 and just nonstop, bro. But joining the military from that point, it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to the Army. I could have went to the Air Force, whatever. I was like, no, I want to go Army. Like my father was Army. My grandfather was Army. Great grandfather, I think he was Army, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, I got to just carry this legacy, right? So this is Army. I went to the dude's office on Monday. I'm taking tests on Monday. I'm signing papers on Tuesday. Bro, I'm at MEPS on Thursday. Military Entrance Processing Station. I'm at MEPS on Thursday, quick ship. Friday, I'm on a bus. I'm on my way out. I'm like, bro, I met this man on Friday. On next Friday, I'm on my way to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Fuck it. I'm out. And that's the hard part about Houston, because I felt like Houston didn't care for me in that space. Like there was no cradling the way Chicago would have supported. Chicago has systems in place to keep young men out of this kind of situation. You know what I mean? You get emergency housing, emergency vouchers, so on and so forth. Houston was just.
And is that like a city infrastructure versus country kind of thing?
I
mean, Houston is a city too, right?
It's a Republican Democrat.
But I would imagine like at the time, Chicago's probably more developed as a city.
Chicago's more democratic as a city.
Okay.
Houston is more pro businesses.
Okay.
Chicago's more pro people.
Okay.
And so
this is because for me it's completely outside looking in, just making assumptions.
It's a conservative mind state. Like if there were programs, no shitting on Harris County, I didn't know about them.
Yeah,
nobody ever told me about them. But in Chicago, people know about these things, and they'll each one teach one. Somebody put you on. Hey, this is my person. This is a dude. He's a young man. Let's people look out for you. Yeah. More or less in Chicago, they will. And in Houston, I didn't have that. So. I come out and my mom comes out of nowhere. She pops up out of nowhere and was like, "You're not going to the Army." And I was like, "What? Like, where were you? Like, wait a minute, where were you in this decision making process? Because you certainly weren't around. Like, what's your address?"
Well, when was the last time you like? How long have y'all gone without like talking at this point?
I was in college. We didn't speak. Like, we didn't speak my
for like a couple of years.
Hold up, nah, cause dude died. Her dude, the dude that she loved, died. He died tragically. He crashed in a semi truck or something that caught on fire, exploded. It was real grim, and I didn't have any remorse for him. I was like, he took my mom away from me. Like, I don't know what you want from me, from this dude. Like, you know what I mean? And my mom wanted me to be very like, oh, he was this and that to you and blah, blah, blah. I was like, you can't. We had a fight about it, and we just didn't talk after that. So fast forward to me joining the military, out of nowhere, she feels this obligation. I'm like, yeah, you can write to me, like, but I'm going. Like, I'm out. Like, no, don't do it. You had scholarships, college, this and that, blah, blah, blah. No, don't care. I'm going to the military. Why? Because college is not for me, and not at this point, at least.
And even like at this point, how do you like process all the things that you've been through in terms of like, because I'm sure that it's easy to be mad at the world, right?
No, I'm pissed.
Yeah,
I'm 100% pissed at the world, but
which is why also there's that parallel to Goggins. Like there's like this like why me.
But here's the problem with here's the difference. Goggins is not trained as a caretaker, right? When you're a father and you're mad, right? Your anger doesn't manifest as rage or anger towards your children or towards, the world or whatever. You lean in and you focus on your work. You channel that rage interior and it becomes a driving battery to keep you going out. But if you're taken care of, or if you're angry and you don't have and you have matriarch and patriarchal figures, you understand yourself to be cared for, and as a child, then you start raging out at the world, right? Because you have nowhere else to put it. You know what I mean? And I think Goggins is mad at, like, when I'm reading his books, Can't Hurt Me, so on and so forth. I read them all, and I'm a huge fan. But it's like his rage is outward in this way of like he would come home and just fume.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I never did that. I never just came home and fumed. I was mad internally. I was mad at something. I just didn't know where to point it.
Yeah.
I didn't have nowhere to point it. It was just, let's just point it at work.
Yeah.
And so the gym was easy. You point it at the gym, but then like that just scratches the surface.
Yeah.
Your body can only do so much.
Yeah.
Joining the military was one of the best decisions for anger management because it gives you a place to put your anger. It gives you a wonderful place to put your anger into a structured environment that knows exactly what to do with it. Exactly what to do. You mad? Come here. Hold this M16. How'd that feel?
Do you think that they prey off that at all?
Oh, 100%.
Like recruiters? Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I mean, when I was in basic, I was in there with like mad people that was on their third strike. Either, second chance, whatever, like either you go to jail or go to the military. These people are troublemakers, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, you prey off people that are misunderstood. And so they know how to add structure. And when you go into that structured environment, there's ways for you to reframe your thinking. You reframe your thinking from rage and chaos into ordered steps of units of execution. You know what I mean? And so you learn how to unitize your emotions and put them into little bite-sized pieces that get things done
And there's probably, I experienced this with sports. I mean, you said you play sports, so you experienced some of it too. But like, the brotherhood and camaraderie, like there's a genuine even if you don't like someone on your team, there's got to be some sort of like respect and love there.
You 100% find it. Yeah. You'll find it across. Like when you see that man in the uniform, he's in the uniform. If you hate each other outside of this, right? It's fucking skinhead, right? He hates me. I hate him. He doesn't understand me. He thinks I'm an animal. He's some subhuman. Okay, I'm walking around in uniform though. At some point, there's a spiritual component in the military where this is not about my skin color. This is not about my size, my shape. This is about the numbers. And I'm putting numbers on the boards. What are you doing? Aryan, like superior white person. Like what's your numbers looking like? And it's like number after number after number after number after number. You can't argue with that. And it's like at some point you have to respect me as a person that's producing, as an entity.
Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't lie, bro. So as I'm putting numbers on the boards, I'm taunting. I'm so mad. I'm so mad in basic that I'm taunting my drill sergeants. I'm taunting them. I'm making a mockery of them. I'm like, you can't give me enough push-ups. You don't understand. I'm happy to be here. Everybody else is miserable. Everybody else wants to go home. I don't have home. I don't have shit back there. I'm happy to be here. Give me another 100 push-ups. I'll worship this ground. Why? Because this is a warm bed, 3 meals, a steady paycheck, a brotherhood. Like I'm in here, and the perspective is completely flipped upside down for me. I'm grateful to be here. Everybody else hates it. So it was this weird thing where I was like happy to adapt into the system, but I was still introducing chaos because I was a troublemaker. I was in trouble. I just had to do it. I learned the system, and once I learned the system, I try to break it. I don't know why I just do that. But going through basic AIT unit, it's just the same pattern over and over and over again. And as a medic, I trained into being a medic. Being a medic, you have to go by the books. You have to, because it's not your license that's on the line. It's some doctor, right? And he wrote the protocol, he or she. And if you step out of line with the protocol, you risk their ass. You know what I mean? It's not your ass that's on the line. It's their ass that's on the line, because who told you that you could do that? And it was like, that doesn't adapt for me. For me, it's like, I must try to break it. Because if I disagree with it, I need to be heard on that. And I need to be understood. And so many people treat peons like peons. They're just like, oh.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I think a lot of people kind of like accept indoctrination.
My mom and my father, my mom and my dad, that was the one thing they fell in love over, chaos. My dad was a rock star, bro. He was an absolute rock star. Mitchell Ware, you can look him up. He killed everything that he did. He just killed it. He killed all of it.
When you say I could look him up, like he's got a Wikipedia or something?
Type his name in, bro. You could type his name in, Mitchell Ware, Senior, right? That's my dad. When his obituary should come up, but also his time in the service. This dude was in the NFL. He played football on the highest. Everything he did was on the highest level. He played for the Chicago Bears.
There's an IMDb for Mitchell Ware.
Nick, bro, he didn't take acting classes. Man was in a movie. You see what I'm saying? What? Bro, like he doesn't do any. He never did anything normal.
I kind of see it. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. He played college football, went to the league, played for 2 seasons and quit. He walked away from the Chicago Bears. Like he was like, oh, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna go do something else. What? Like he just decides he's gonna go back to school. He was starting. He was a starting halfback.
Was he part of the cliff notes he gave you, or like?
Bro, I was sitting across from this dude like that. I'm in disbelief.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I quit. Like I did 2 seasons. It was fine, but
What position did you play?
Running back. He was halfback.
Wow.
For the Bears.
Wow.
Starting. Had hundreds of, bro, before there was, he was running, remember he's old. He's real old. So this is leather helmets. This is that time of football.
Yeah. Yeah.
The size, like you can look up his stats if they have them, but his stats are on there.
Also, he's from Chicago, right?
Nah, his family's from Tennessee. I want to say
Okay.
he was from Chicago, but by way of some weird, he was an orphan. Yes, he was an orphan. His parents died tragically or something, but like him and his brother, he's got a brother too. Anyway, he just went back to law school. He was like, I'm going back to school, study law. Thought he was going to be a regular lawyer? No. This man decided he was going to be an agent for the Illinois Bureau of Investigation.
Well, he worked as a TV reporter.
TV reporter for fun. The first black TV reporter. He was the first one. He was the very first dude that was black on TV reporting for the news.
Period? Or in Chicago?
It might have been nationwide. I don't know. I think it's Chicago for sure. It might have been across the nation though. He's the first one.
And led state citywide police agencies. Then built Illinois. This is from St. Ambrose University.
Crazy.
And then he built Illinois' largest minority-led law partnership, and then served as a justice of the Circuit Court of Cook County. So how does this person not have it together? That's my question.
He never understood women. He never leaned into relationships. He thought it was all about following the rules. And he followed the rules to a T.
What rules?
The rules of life. Think about it. What are the rules? Go.
I don't know.
Work.
I don't know the rules.
Work hard.
We make this shit up as we go.
Work hard, go to school, get good grades, make the connections, be responsible, blah, blah, blah.
Programming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he leaned into the program and he ruined it. It ruined him because he never understood the chaotic aspect of relationships. He never really deeply understood the women that he loved so deeply. Mm. He loved them for sure, but he needed them to be a part of his Unitarian regime. Like back in the 50s and 60s, as a patriarchy. That's why it's such a demonic thing. It's like he had to be able to control them. And you can't control women any more than you can control the weather. What the best you can do in a winter storm is have salt trucks. That's the best you can do. Shovel and salt, but you can't stop the snow. The fuck? So this is what he was obsessed with. He was obsessed with people like, yo, just be right. Just do it the right way and we gonna win. And women just don't. Just don't. Back then, no. Absolutely not. Just saying no was crazy back then for a woman to do. So he just didn't know how to process that. Yeah. And so divorce after divorce after divorce after divorce. Anyway, that's the same thing with Goggins. I'll call him out on that. Goggins is divorced.
All right, we called out Goggins enough.
Get him. Because I smash him. Yeah. I smash him on that front.
On what? On what?
On the relationship front, I don't care.
Okay.
For every push up, let's go over the love languages. Let's go over it. Goggins gonna be sitting his head scratching. Fuck out of here. Anyway, so you gotta, as much as you lean into the rules and kicking ass and taking names, there was this, I mastered that part, right? Military mastered that part. But then coming out, there's still this emptiness, right? There's still this deficit, and you don't really know what that's about. And I didn't learn about what that was about until reading The Alchemist. We was talking about that. We was quoting that earlier. Mm-hmm. And leaning into
the language of the universe.
Correct. The language of the universe and manifesting things that you want. And I started playing with that energy. I just started playing with it, you know what I mean, just to see what would happen. And I manifested one of the craziest things ever. I manifested becoming an international runway model just out of fucking thin air, just out of nothing. International male supermodel out of thin air. Like, no, I was not in fashion. I'm not fit. I'm not a slim dude at this point. I'm not.
You weren't fit, but you were in the military. Make it make sense.
Fit, New York model fit. Like,
okay. Like slim
Brad Pitt, like Fight Club fit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't Goggins fit. Yeah. I was like husky. I was like solid, like heavy face. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I just started messing around.
So we're gonna come right back to that, but now's maybe a good point to talk about, or to just like mention the roles that you've had, like the things that you've done, the roles that you've had, leading up until now.
Yeah. So at this point,
Like what were you doing that you feel that you're very proud of, and then what are you also doing now? And what are you pursuing?
you mean in the story and like putting a pin in the story, or now like presently in the right now?
Like putting a pin in the story,
The progression of the story.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, what's the accolades? Like, what's the
So like you were, so you're getting into like being a runway model. So you were runway model.
fashion model, runway, commercial, high fashion.
What roles came after that, and like what are you doing now? And working towards
that unlined that moved me to New York, and New York just exposes you to everything.
Yeah.
Like it's everything here, and so from there, cater waitering again, playing with the law of attraction. I don't want to be a cater waiter. I want to, if I'm gonna do this cater waiter shit in between modeling gigs, like I'm gonna do it all the way and out of nowhere. Moet Hennessy, right? I'm working for them across the globe
as a mixologist,
as a mixologist, as a logistics manager, as a person that's stacking boxes.
but catering was in between that. It was like a bridge.
Catering was one that was like, oh, okay, I could do this. My family's got catering business. I could do this, but why would I do it on this level in New York? Why, when all the levels are here? Well, let me just go ahead and do it like my dad do it at the highest. Bam, MH, a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay, cool. Now we're doing it for crazy money instead of peas and carrots. You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We're meeting celebrities. We're making drinks for celebrities. Nas has a signature drink called the Big Apple. Mine. Yeah, your guy. Your guy's drink is my drink. Okay.
So you met Nas?
Several times.
What?
Yeah. Pull a hookah with the dude at Griffin. That was the first time.
That's crazy.
First time, and I didn't even care who he was. I was so busy. He was standing on a VIP table. And he's a shorter dude, so it's like he's maybe 6'6", standing on top of the table. And my buddy Hemrock's like, "Yo, go get, I need a drink for something special." And I was like, it's crazy. I went to the back in the fridge in Griffin. It's packed. It's packed. Like the bus boys can't get through. I'm swimming. I get in the back. I go through the fridge of the staff. I find Simply apple juice. Snag it. Mine's. I just took it. I don't know who it belongs to. Whoever it was, I'm sorry. Took it, started pouring it. It's Hennessy, simple apple, lemon, and some cinnamon, right? Bam, cinnamon stick. Look, here, have fun. Gave it to Hemrock. Hemrock hands it to Nas.
Yeah.
Nas puts his hand on my shoulder. At this point, I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm in this environment, but I'm not of this environment. I'm working. I hand him a drink. I get back to work. There's football players, basketball players everywhere, and everything that comes with it. Chaos, madness. I'm back to work trying to stack drinks on the girls' trays. Like we got Hennessy girls with trays, and I can't put enough drinks on the tray. Like they turn around and it's gone immediately. I get a hand on my shoulder. Nobody touches me in this space. Nobody, because I'm liable to swing on you because it's such high pressure. It's crazy pressure. You're here making, you know what I'm saying, not life or death decisions, but you performing alchemy. Who dares touch me while I'm performing alchemy? I look, who's touching me? Oh, it's Nas. Yo, you made this? Yeah. Oh, this is great. Thank you. I was like, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nas.
Right. He touches my shoulder. Right. Thanks, Nas. Touches my shoulder and hands me his hookah. All my bosses are looking like, oh, you're going to smoke that.
Yeah.
You're going to pull from that.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't know.
No one even know what's in that hookah.
I had no.
Yeah.
At that point, I had no.
Could be tobacco. Could be weed.
It could be anything.
Could be anything.
It doesn't. At this point.
More than likely one of those two options.
At this point, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
At this point, I just made a celebrity drink. I'm on top of the world. I pull from the hookah. Everything works out. I ride away shirtless on my motorcycle that night.
Yeah.
To my terrible, terrible apartment.
What was it? Tobacco? Was it just tobacco?
It was just regular hookah. It was just regular. But it was a good pull. I pulled deep, meaningful. Right. It was great. It was a good one.
Nice.
Yeah, I became a fan.
Nice.
But after that, it was like, yeah, it was just, and I mean, just little stories like that. Just those little moments just started manifesting.
So after after being a mixologist, like what came after that in terms of, I mean, which you still do, but
Yeah.
but what is, because like where did woodworking and stuff like come into play?
Being a creative, man, you gotta, when you start tapping into, you know, the structure of things and you just become structured, okay, that's one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is, you know, being fluid, right? You have to have fluidity with it. You got to be able to play. You have to be able to play. If you can't play, it's pointless, right? None of this matters. Like, who's the king of making squares? Nobody cares. Nobody gets, like, you can't make a square better than a square making machine. Like, you can't, right? But if you allow yourself the room to play, then you can make things beautiful, right? And beauty is just as important as structure in this world, right? The book that changed my life on that was, and I recommend Goggins reads this. It's called Zen.
How many shots you gonna take, bro?
I don't care. He can take them all. He can take every shot. You see his abs? He's fine. He can take a couple of shots. It's fine. Anyway, no, it's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig. And it talks about how form, you know, it's form versus function with everything, right? Is it function first or is it form first? Does the beauty lead this or the necessity lead this? There's this myth going around, oh, necessity breeds whatever. And it's like, no. Sometimes in the chaotic way of things, the feminine way of doing things, beauty just leads because why not? You know what I mean? Just because. I just wanted to make something beautiful. That's it. Like, that was the whole point of the thing, right? The thing to be made. And if you can make a thing well and beautiful, then it has a place. And one of the weirdest manifestations of the argument of form versus function that is completely balanced is the motorcycle. A motorcycle is the perfect balance between beauty and function, right? So you look at it, it's a gorgeous machine, right? It looks amazing. It looks beautiful. It looks all the pipes and chrome and the sweeping lines. It looks far better than a car, right? Cars, Lamborghini, all this. No, a motorcycle looks way better. And it also functions beautifully. When you get on it, you're not turning a wheel. You're leaning into a curve. When you are driving it, you're not in a box separate from your environment. You're a part of the environment. Like, you're feeling the weather. You're feeling the air. You're smelling the flowers. Like, and you are a part of the journey as much as the motorcycle is. And that's a beautiful experience, right? And so there's this kind of, it's a machine for sure, but it's also this beauty that's involved in it. And so reading that, it was like, okay, so everything you do moving forward should be an effort to kind of be a motorcycle, if you will, like form and function, make it beautiful and make it meaningful, make it structurally sound. And I started trying to turn that into relationships. Right. And that's where woodworking came from. That's where furniture design, interior design came from. Making crazy money on TaskRabbit, just hanging curtains, mounting TVs, whatever. But doing it in a beautiful way, doing it perfectly, right? As perfectly as it can be done. A lot of people just slap shit on the wall and move. It's like, no, I want to put it in the perfect spot. Why? Because you have to live here and look at it, right? So there's this intention behind it. That just started manifesting as all kinds of different things. It just started turning into all kinds of stuff. Leatherworking, woodworking. It turned into design. It turned into web design. It turned into music, as you know, drumming. It turned into cocktails. It turned into anywhere I wanted to put it, right? And when I tried to apply it to like finance and numbers, I made a shit ton of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, I made a lot of money doing finance, economics, selling products. I have my Series 7, my Series 6. So I don't
even know what that is.
Means I can manage financial portfolios.
Oh, wow.
Basically. And I have that, but it's boring. It's very boring. There's a lot of ink and paper. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. There's nothing beautiful about it.
Encoded language. Yeah.
Don't get me
I
started.
remember trying to read business books. I'm just
Bro,
like,
don't get me
this is
started.
like
It's
it's
painful on purpose. They do it on
I know,
purpose.
yeah, I know.
Because the concepts are not hard.
You got to play their game.
You have to learn their language and play their game
Yeah.
and do it the way that they want to do it, and it becomes.
But it is what it is. You do what you got to do.
It's so boring.
But
that's
yeah.
why I love Bitcoin and all these like stories like dumb money.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because you know what I mean? Because it's like GameStop is like, it's just throw a wrench in it. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, fuck your system. And it's like, yes, finally somebody did it.
Yeah.
Somebody finally broke it. You know, and that's one of my favorite things. I took advantage of that. Like I saw the GameStop tweet like long before it dropped, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is a cool thing. I got in like 2 months, I think, after dude started buying up crazy shares. Like I got in like 2 months.
So to frame my question a little bit better from before, so if Caesar's like resume like of life, like your jobs and skills and stuff, it would be so which includes your history as well as like what you currently do and what you're working towards. It would be fashion model, mixologist,
Documentarian.
Yep. Drummer.
DJ.
DJ?
I DJ.
You DJ?
I DJ in college.
We'll get into
I
that.
have mixtapes.
Caterer.
Cook, chef, yeah, sommelier.
I feel like I'm missing what we were just talking about.
I mean, woodworking, crafts, craftsman, 3D printing. I do a lot of that stuff.
Herbalist or
I learned herbal medicine in the military. So medicine, medical professional, trained as a physician's assistant, PA.
Wow.
So nobody's gonna die around me. EMT, paramedic.
EMT, paramedic.
Yeah.
These are a lot of roles. I've lost fingers.
Yeah, you go. Right.
I got no more. Yeah, we're on 3 hands now.
Right. So EMT, paramedic. My old partner, I found out on Facebook the other day. He died, man. He died from cancer. Dude that taught me how to read cardio charts. He died. He's like in his 40s.
Damn.
It's a stressful life, man. It's
Cancer's coming for everybody.
It's dumb. I wish we could just negotiate with cancer. Like I wish.
What do we got to do?
Like yo,
just
let me talk to him. Look. Let me explain something. The bigger you get, I'm telling you, the smaller you get because the wilder it becomes for you, the faster you gonna die. Like it sucks. So you just got to take it easy. Like I wish I could be in the room negotiating with cancer. Like yo, just take it easy. Like we got you, man. It's cool.
Yeah, we get it.
This don't need to be a fight though.
You've done enough.
You're gonna lose either way.
Yeah.
You win all the way, and then you dead. Like, either way, bro. So look, let's just give you a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's give you a little land. That's it. You just stay a little mass, and that's that.
Yeah.
Just play the long game. You got it. I don't know, man.
So,
but anyway,
DJ,
yeah, man.
When you start DJing?
DJ Revolution, man. I was 18. I got some decks. I was selling drugs in college, bro. So
what decks were you like? What
I was
Technics?
I had Newmarks.
Okay,
I had Newmarks, and I was after
vinyl. I'm assuming
no, digital.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know when the first like digital controllers were
the
coming
first CDJs,
yeah.
500s. Bro, they didn't even have scratch capacity.
But the OG CDJs that had like that were actually 4 CDs.
Yes.
Right?
You had to put a CD in it and navigate to your track.
Yeah.
And play. And then you could hear it on your mixing board.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't connecting to a computer yet, I don't think, right?
Serato was
how old is Serato? I'm
brand new.
Okay.
Serato was brand, and you had to order Serato tracks in order for Serato to work. You had to buy the Serato vinyl or the Serato CD and put that in your thing, and that's the code that's sent to the Serato machine.
Okay.
Serato didn't read songs; it only read its own.
So you
code.
were DJing parties?
Yeah.
Back in Houston?
Yeah. In San Marcos.
What was that?
That was in college.
Okay.
So up in San Marcos, Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
I was DJing parties.
And what kind of stuff were you spinning?
I mean, of course, Houston stuff, pop stuff, but I have my own remixes.
What stands out to you? It's like a song you just knew, like, yo, this is like a song you identify with.
What do you mean? Like from my DJ style or just from them parties?
Nah, yeah, from the parties and stuff.
Man, you could. The South is different, bro. Like you could just play you could literally just play the acapella of a legendary song. You don't need the beat, and you could just let that rip. You just play the first 4 bars of an acapella, and the crowd takes it. You just walk away. And they just sing it themselves. They just Oak Cliff, that's my hood. Put it in his face, get that shit understood. Cut the music. The whole crowd. This ain't what you want, boy.
Who is this?
Tuck Tuck.
Tuck Tuck.
Yeah, I think it's Tum Tum or Tuck Tuck. DJ Tum or DJ Tuck and Tum Tum or something like that. They Dallas rap.
What's the name of the song?
Oak Cliff. That's it. And it's a riot. It's a guaranteed fight. You put that song on, you want people to fight. You see them you see some commotion, play that. It's
I'm
more
trying to find it.
It's more efficient than anything Lil Jon has ever put out.
I'm not getting anything for Tuck Tuck.
Type in Oak Cliff.
Yeah, I typed in Oak Cliff. So I see Quint Black.
Nope.
Trap Boy Freddie.
Nope.
Bowleg.
All remixes.
All right, I might have to go to YouTube for this one. I'm on Spotify right now.
Okay, no. You on Spotify?
Yeah.
Go back. Type in Tussle. Tussel.
I want to hear this Oak Cliff.
I'm leading you there.
Okay.
Type in Tussle.
Okay.
Because the artist that's gonna pop up for Tussle, I'm gonna tussle with you, tussle with you, tussle with you. Hope you got your niggas with you.
Oh, featuring Tum Tum. Oh, Big Tuck.
Bingo. Big Tuck features. Now go to his
Oak
tracks.
Cliff.
Look at his songs. Look at like
Big Tuck.
Yeah, go to his tracks. I would play that. Just southern gems. And
so Oak Cliff isn't coming up. I could look it up on YouTube.
It might be copyrighted at this point or something. Who knows? Or it might be too violent of a song. Spotify might have removed it because it get the party too hype. But nah, DJ, I'm okay.
Oak Cliff, I think
I can match some tempos. I can.
It says Quint Black.
No,
for whatever reason.
Nah, get rid of him.
Oak Cliff, that's my hood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's turn this up.
That's the
quick.
one. Mm-hmm.
All right, here we
That's
go.
it. That right there.
So
that's the hardest.
So first thing that comes to mind when I heard that is, it sounds exactly like "On My Mama, on my hood,
I look fly.
Yeah,
I look good.
I don't even remember what the title of that song
Sweat.
is.
That's the same dude.
Is it?
I think, yeah. I think it's the same dude. Yeah.
What song is that? I'm trying to remember.
Look good. I look good. I look good. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, I think it's the same dude.
Charlie Boy.
Charlie Boy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think. Okay, so it's not the same dude. It must be from the same. It's the same kind of sound though. It's the same sound.
Yeah.
I don't know if Charlie Boy.
Swag.
Wish you could. Yeah, I don't know if he's from Dallas or Houston. I don't know, but he was a one shot dude. Just had a good song. One real good song. That was it.
That's like the same cadence. Even the delivery feels like it feels like the same person.
You could just blend them two songs together
for real,
and you wouldn't even think. It's
and that'd be the flip in the set.
Yeah, that would be
like go from song to song.
Crazy.
You start with the Charlie Boy, and then you like, okay, let's see who's real in here.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then chopped and screwed.
Yeah,
like you could chop it, you could screw it. I was a chop and screw DJ. Yeah, out of Houston. Yeah, it was just. I was putting down tracks. People giving me their songs. I was chopping and screwing, putting them on mixtapes and selling them.
Word.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a little bit of fun. Yeah.
And another thing that came up for me in what you were doing reminded me of swag surfing. So you're saying this is basically like,
oh man, Houston, Texas.
No, because that's the ritual. It's like a ritual when swag surfing comes on the club. You know, like everybody got to like. It's a whole like side to side.
This is. For me, this is swag surfing.
Yeah.
It's like this motion. But this is like a team. Like football, like we all locking arms and it's like it's this huddle.
Locking arms? Like
well, arms
inside
around
elbows?
shoulders. Arms around shoulders.
Oh no, that's swag surfing.
Oh,
too.
okay. No, we didn't.
That's normal.
We didn't have that. That wasn't.
I
Swag.
did. I was in a swag surfing because I worked at Comedy Cellar. I was in one of my favorite memories of being there was at the holiday party. Dulce Sloan was leading the swag surfing circle. Dulce was like in the middle, and everybody just like around doing the same shit, doing the same shit.
Got you.
Yeah. I swag. I
serve.
serve.
Yeah. I feel like dish detergent. Damn, how clean you feel.
Yeah.
Dish detergent. Like, shit. I love us, man. I love us. It's great.
Where those dudes from?
I have no idea. I have no clue. Like they just pop up.
Yeah, I got that swag.
My hat matching, my bad. That sounds like some Louisiana shit, but
Yeah, it does.
cause Boosie and Webby.
Nah, that's not them.
Nah, I mean that they started that wipe me down shit.
Oh yeah.
Clean South.
Yeah.
They started the
Wipe
clean.
Me Down was hard, bro.
The
I
dirty
used to
South,
love
the
that
clean
song.
South. It's like, wipe me down, cause I'm on.
Fast Life Youngsters.
Jesus Christ, bro. Like, who is Fast Life Youngsters? In and out, quick. One shot, man. Get one good one. One good, and then that's that. Can't stay out of trouble.
Trying to figure out where these dudes are from.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nah,
Somebody knows.
Oh, they
like,
from Georgia. Stone
Georgia.
Mountain.
There you go, Stone Mountain. Right. Yeah. Stone Mountain. Georgia.
Childish Gambino. That's his hood.
If he reps it, like, is the Childish Gambino really rep Stone Mountain?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's where he's from. Like, and it's he
I mean,
acknowledges that Stone Mountain's not really like Atlanta. Like I saw him
Right.
recently saying
yeah,
that it's like outside.
it's
yeah.
outside. It's like Georgia. It's
Yeah.
like they're trying to be their own thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't know nothing about.
the South.
none of that. I
Yeah, the
haven't
South
been
is so
there.
factionated, man. They don't work together out there. Like,
Mm.
and that's the hard. It's like everybody trying to do their own individual thing, and I get it, but like that's one of the things I don't like about the South. It's like you do something great, and people can't celebrate it down south. They need to hate on it. They need to try to be different. They got to try to
From state to state or like within
region to
the-
region, state to state, group to group. Like they don't work together as well as people up north do.
You think so?
I know so. Unless you're in an in group, of people that are just like pro work together people. Nah,
Because in New York we got like the Jay-Z versus Nas, like the
yeah, true.
like people from Queens typically side with Nas. They don't
Man,
really want to
but
show Jay-Z
have you
as
ever-
much love. And
Right, but have you ever met a person and wouldn't work with them because you're from the Bronx, or because they're from the Bronx?
Nah,
Right, this really it's that deep for them.
I mean, but you're gonna find people who are like idiots, like like
There's
in
just
general. I'm sure there's somebody in New York who might have that mentality.
they abound out there. It's like
You think that's common?
that's the majority mentality out
Because
there.
the perception I have of Atlanta is like they collaborate with each other a lot. You see it on records a lot.
Atlanta, yeah,
Where New York doesn't, like, I guess probably since 50, like 50 kind of takes the blame,
right,
like,
mm-hmm.
Externally for kind of separating and like making New York like less collaborative.
Right.
I don't know if that's like justified, but like
I mean,
somewhat. There's some truth at least.
right. When we
to
talk
that.
about
Yeah.
Brooklyn rappers versus Queens rappers, Bronx rappers, okay, some people don't get along or whatever. You got little skirmishes.
But there's a lot of collaboration like on that level too.
But also remember regionally,
But I think more so for Atlanta. Like they're always on, like you're always seeing features of like Slim Thug and Slim Thug, Young Thug and like Lil Baby or
Atlanta,
like
Da Baby coming out of North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
But think about like, okay, that's Atlanta as a city. Atlanta's not the South,
Gucci Mane.
right? Gucci versus the rest of them, but that's not the South is a huge region. It's huge.
Yeah.
You can drive 16 hours straight and still be in the South. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a long trajectory. It's Georgia, it's Alabama, it's Mississippi, David Banner, it's Louisiana, and everybody came out of there, Cash Money, No Limit, etc. You got Houston, you know what I mean? And everybody's trying to make an individual sound. And it's very difficult to work together because just proximity. It's hundreds of miles between people, right? And so unique sounds pop up, but then can we work together on our sound? Like, can we do that? Not necessarily without the advent of technology. Remember, Lauryn Hill's from New Jersey. Like, a lot of them cats, legends, is just because they was in the right place at the right time. Staten Island stand up, like, okay, Wu-Tang, right? Like what would Wu-Tang be if they were from Connecticut? No, nothing. Like there's a Wu-Tang in Connecticut.
I mean, at the time, Staten Island might as well have been.
It might have
because they were the only thing.
As far as they could go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they could just take a boat.
They put Staten Island on the map
and have held it down forever.
Yeah.
Nobody else has come out of Staten Island that
Nobody?
is relevant. Budden or Joe Buttons.
No, he's from Jersey.
Right, he's from Jersey, right? Just over there somewhere. Right. Who else has come from the SI? Crooked letter I.
There's gotta be somebody.
Method Man, dog, that's it. He's been holding it down his whole Method and Red, that's it.
Red Man's from Jersey.
Jersey, right. Holds it down as an honorarian.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
It's hard. So
and some of Wu-Tang was from Brooklyn.
Right. So
I think Jizza might have been.
Yeah, Jizza. I don't know where
Riz is from Staten Island.
Staten Island, right. But no, so just
I could be wrong. Yeah.
But just regionally,
I think
like regionally, you just run out of resources. Like you just don't have the creative minds down south. Like so, when you finally do link with somebody that's good, you get things like Rap-A-Lot Records and you know the South, like Houston. That's why I'm so fiercely proud of it because it's like they did it on their own. They didn't tap into any other multi-billion-dollar companies funding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just did it. And so down south, they're fiercely proud of it and they hold it down like that. But they also don't collaborate very well. It's like when you look at mixtapes and what they could have been, what could have, like if everybody was in a hodgepodge of a creative think tank like New York City with the density like this, the South would have, are you kidding? The creative sounds, like if you had all those people, Timbo, Missy, Lil Jon, all in the same tank every day, just creating nonstop with that all-star lineup of voices, cast, characters, producers, masters. Are you serious? You know what I mean? Look what No Limit did. No Limit with just their tiny faction. Crazy. Cash Money Records.
Cash Money. I was gonna say Cash Money.
Cash Money. It's small. Just imagine if they was next door to each other or just a 30-minute train ride away from each
What about Quality Control?
It would have been taken care of.
I know. I'm saying like that's Quality Control. I think QC is responsible for a lot now. Like they're known mostly like for Migos. I'm gonna look it up, like who their roster was.
I mean, back then, I don't know who that is, but just regionally, Stone Mountain versus Atlanta it was just verses, and people just wasn't working together. They wasn't collaborating, as I understood it musically, and that goes across to businesses. They, you know what I mean? Like it's each one, every man for themselves kind of thing.
So the artists on Quality Control: Quavo, Lil Baby, Lil Yachty, City Girls. I'm just going through the ones that I know. Offset, Rich the Kid, OG Mako, Take Off. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And what's that one? What is
That's
that?
one label.
There's one label.
Yeah.
Cool. Look at the New York labels. It's like, look at Def Jam.
Def Jam's like global at this point. Like,
what percentage was
Def
New Yorkers?
Def Jam's not even fair. They're one of the most successful labels of all time. Like, period.
Uncle Rush, where does he live? He's right here.
Yeah, he's from Queens.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's just rounding people up. Def Jam, signing them.
Yeah.
Next.
But they had people from outside. Beastie Boys is completely from Brooklyn?
I think so. I mean, they was rounding people up. Def Jam was rounding people. Think about it. They organized themselves because it was easy. It was easy to get to all these artists. And the South is not easy. You got to drive. In Houston, everything's an hour away. Everything. An hour drive. You got gas
they're
money.
definitely from New York.
They right there. And, meet me on so-and-so and so-and-so. That's it. And now you sign the papers. You can't do that down south. That's a very uniquely New York thing. That's not.
We're talking about like it's not even. Well, QC's definitely got some major help, but like No Limit was just indie,
right?
As far
just
as I remember.
Out of nowhere, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Master P, like, and his son Romeo. Like, how did he have a?
I remember how iconic the Na 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 Na. Make him say
bro.
Like, I remember when that video was out.
Just an iconic sound. Just a sound that was just iconic, and they was gonna do it their way, and that's just how it is down south. Like in the conservative South, that's just how it is. I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
And I think Drake, I think is the mastermind. And I don't speak about Aubrey Graham as Drake, like as a person. I think of Drake as a band. Drake as a collective of minds. Mm-hmm. Drake took advantage of that isolation, and used the collaborative effort that 100 producers on one song could do to take isolated sounds like Big Freedia, Wayne, The Baby, Gucci Mane, etc., and merge that into one thought piece, one album. Now, I hope they're getting paid the way they're supposed to get paid, for sure. But it's like, that was the one missing component. It was like one collaborative thought mind, one hive mind to bring all those sounds together.
Yeah.
And not try to be so individual, but to try to make it into something that's pop and easily digestible by the masses. I think that's what Drake did, like to a lot of those sounds down south. Like he's on everything. He's fucking Bun B, Pimp C. Like he's Houston all the way. He just went state to state.
I think Drake's probably a fan of culture.
Yeah.
And just like doesn't have an issue at all with, like I can see for some people imitation being flattery, like just like he hears it and he's like, I want to do this, and
right.
puts it out into the world.
Just,
but I think Drake writes a lot. Like I think Drake writes a lot.
He probably does. He writes more than Beyonce.
But I think he also is like a lyric producer in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Timbaland, for example. Timbaland can make beats, like make fire beats on his own, but he also, like a lot of producers have ghost producers under them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just I mean,
for
for whatever reason, to have more output, you at the end of the day, you still have to sign off. You have to have the taste to like decide like what's good, like this,
right? It's a matter of taste,
and how you put things together, and what you decide to like, what does make the record, what doesn't make the record,
right?
Those are extremely important decisions,
right?
So at the end of the day, like I don't like discredit Drake for having writers.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not a credit against him. I mean, it's a smart move.
Yeah,
it's smart. It's very, very smart. It's the same thing. Michael Jackson, same thing. There's a team of people behind him to create this entity. You know what I mean? And that's good.
So it's not, but it's not like, because people tend to talk about Drake or treat Drake like
a culture vulture.
No, I mean that's one. That's one. I wasn't gonna say that
like that.
But I'm talking when it comes like almost like discrediting his pen game because of the whole Quentin Miller situation.
Right,
but like Drake can write. He's just trying. I would imagine he was trying to have a certain level of output, and I mean music itself is very collaborative
for sure,
and
for sure. Like in that realm,
yeah.
But down south, like we're speaking about the South, and it's like as a character thing down south, everybody's the king of their town, right? And they're the king of their sound. So like Big Freedia by herself with no Drake is a completely weird sound. That if you didn't grow up in New Orleans, Louisiana, you have no clue that this exists. Much less has been perfected to the level that she's perfected it. Like same thing with the third coast, like Houston. Like if no radio play, you have no idea this stuff exists. And so it's like everybody's kind of honed their own taste down south in an isolated way. And this is like the conservative way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
But everybody does that too much down there. And it's like nobody puts themselves on. That's the reason I left the South. It was like I love it for sure for what it is and how it stands on its own. But it's like Texas is trying to take a step off the grid. Like, relax. Like, you're still a part of the United States. Like, no, we would be our own country. Like, no, you wouldn't, bro. Like, Mexico would take you over in a minute. Like the moment Texas decided that it was its own country, the next day, Mexico is invading, bro. And there's nothing the Texas National Guard is going to be able to do about it. Nothing.
Is that like serious? Like, does Texas seriously want to be its own independent thing? Is that
They vote on that shit every year.
Really?
Every year. And it's always a no, right? But there's always these people. There's always those isolationists that think that they could just hold it down with a shotgun. And it's like, bro, you don't understand. People have drones now. Like, they'll just bomb your whole shit, just take your ranch, bro.
Yeah.
They don't care to wipe you. It doesn't matter. Like,
you don't even use a computer. Sit down.
You don't get it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you're off the grid and you don't think they're gonna find you. Like, stop. Like, come back to you use the internet. Like, you're on Instagram. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
But there's this idea about the Lone Ranger, the lone thing, the isolated thing, it's us against them.
Texas programming.
Southern programming.
Yeah.
Southern. It's a Southern thing. And
the Lone Ranger is a Southern thing as a whole?
The West, the South, like, it's just this mentality down there of like, there's something wrong with collaborating. There's something weird about it. It's a new concept to them because it's their side and our side of town. Do you think about the Old West? This town's not big enough for the two of us. Like, why not? Like, we could just walk around. It's fine. You know, like, we could. In New York's like, shut up. Like, come on. Look at how many people is here. Yeah. It's the most ridiculous claim ever. But down south, everybody's like, oh, you need that space, you need room. They got yards, 5-car garage. My neighbor's too close. Call the police on them. Like, it's very like, it's I don't know how to really describe it, but it's like, it's designed to keep people of color against each other. It's designed that way. Like, that's the way it's set up. You're not allowed to work with communities in need because the way that it's set up is just grimy. It's like if let's say we had gyms, right? Like, you have a gym, I have a gym. I do one kind of training, you do another kind of training. If we do crossover stuff, right? Like, I bring my group to yours and you bring your group to mine. Up north, this works, right? CrossFit gyms go to running groups go to CrossFit gyms, it's fine. But down south, there's always this inkling of like, are you trying to take people from me? Like, what are you doing? What's your end game? What's this? Everybody's very suspicious of everybody down there. And so you want to keep.
That's because they know everybody got guns.
That's true. That's true.
I got a gun. You got a gun. What you up to?
Right. But from an artist collaborative standpoint, it's the same shit. It's like, what kind of music you make? Okay, you can try to take my sound because I'm not going to put my whole effort into it if you're trying to take my sound unless I'm protected, this and that. So these circles in Atlanta work because it's like, in Atlanta, they've got it set up and it's organized. But down south, they don't know how to organize it. They don't know how to create. They don't know how to organize and protect themselves. Like, so they don't know how to protect their sound, protect their intellectual property, et cetera. It's just like, set up a contract. If Sony Music decides to come take it, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You have an independent label. You have a lawyer that set up your contract? What kind of budget do you have to fight Sony if they decide they're going to take your music? So, you know what I mean? It's very like, you know, get big, but not too big. Like, don't do too much. Like, you can collaborate with who's behind you. Like, you know what I mean? Because if they come for us, I lose it all. You know, it's kind of like that. And there's a very real suspicion there that I don't like down south. Like, I can't thrive in that environment. And I think that suspicion, that anxiety is what keeps a lot of people from wanting to thrive and reaching for higher things. Because you're not, what's the word? You're not a conspiracy. You know what I mean? You've seen it happen to people. You've seen people with good ideas get their ideas taken and they get nothing, and that's it. Get your ass back to work. Like, I'm going to make $1 million off your idea and you get to sit down and shut up, or I'm going to do, like, and there's nothing you can do about it because you live down south and you have no protections. Up here, it's different. Up here, nobody knows who you know. You might know $1 million, $100 million hotshot lawyer that might be able to help you out. But the way of the world down there is just like, if somebody steals your idea, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, guess what? We know where they live. Just ride on them. Gangster rap. Like, get my sound back. Why? You're not breathing no more. That's that. That's what happens to a lot of minds down there, because it's like they get so pissed off. that somebody stole their sound, stole their ideas, stole their entity, stole their intellectual property. They're frustrated. They don't know what's going on. And there's no way to protect them because conservative state is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
It's allowed. Like, why would you allow that? Pro people states can't do that. In New York, you can't do it. It's there's channels down there. No channels. The channels are so slow and defunct and pointless that just shooting a person is better. It's just better. Just gets it done quick.
How you doing on time in general?
I'm good, man. How are you? I know you got to ride
soonish, but
all right. So let's bring it. Bring it in.
I do want to come. There's a couple things I want to get to. So manifesting being a fashion runway model. That's something we put a pin in. I'm curious about how drum practice is going for you. And just like what you're listening to in general. So we can
excuse me,
bang these out.
Manifesting, modeling turned into something crazy. Now I'm just in New York manifesting whatever I want.
But you so you were in the military. Like, how did you manifest that?
Well, that I didn't understand the power of manifestation at that point.
Yeah.
Right. The military just happens.
And you read The Alchemist, you said.
I read The Alchemist after I got out, while I was in the Army, but not before I joined.
Okay.
So I read it while I was in, and I was like, okay, so this is real. Okay, I get it. It was
someone just like recommended the book to you?
It was a Will Smith interview on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Will Smith was like, it was one of my favorite books, The Alchemist. I was like, bet. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I went to the library. They didn't have it. I went and found it, and I read it, and it just hit me hard, and it started really lining up all the things I learned in medicine. Like it gave it a house, like all the ways of healing. It was like, okay, you have to do this and do this and do it this way. All that is intention. All of it. It's all intentional action. Okay, cool. When you put it into a single idea, like it's just being intentional about your action and following through. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that you'll save somebody's life because you're acting with intention to do so. Right. Now, the order of the steps, does it matter? Not really. You can make mistakes. There's room. There's wiggle room.
So what gave you the epiphany of like modeling? I'm going to do that.
Because I didn't know if it worked. I was suspicious. I was like, no, this can't be real.
What do you mean? No, I'm saying like while you're in the military, you read this book or whatever, like how did it spark that for you in particular? Like, was modeling something that was on your mind at all? Like, how did that even come up?
Random. Super random. I was like, okay, I read The Alchemist. Alchemist led to You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay House Productions, which led to The Secret, which led to Law of Attraction, which led to Bob Proctor, which led to
just like a book wormhole.
So it was a nice little wormhole, and I was just interested in this, and I was like, I really don't think this works. Like, I really don't think this, because this doesn't work out for people that just think positive thoughts, this and that.
And you probably have a lot of time because you're kind of isolated from society in a way.
Right. So in the military, you have time to think. You have time to focus, time to meditate, right? You've got, and plus as a medic, you're usually on for 24, off 24 to 48. So on and off. So you got plenty of time.
And even when you're on, there's probably a lot of downtime too, where like there's not an emergency necessarily, but when it's an emergency, it's time to go.
Yeah, it depends on your post.
Okay.
Like depends. So sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't. But like just leaning into it and just meditating on it. I was like, okay, here's the thing. I had to pick something I didn't have any resistance towards. Because a lot of us have preconceived resistance, like about the things that we want. We already think we can't have it. So that's what stops us from having it. Like that's immediately what's it. So you think about a bunch of money. I can't have a bunch of money though, and there's all these ideas that's been flooded with your brain about not having good money, right? Okay, cool. That's why you keep yourself away from it. So if you choose something that's completely neutral, I have no feelings about fashion at all. None. I don't care about dressing nice. I don't keep up with brands. I don't care about Virgil. At this point.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. Yeah, I don't know who Virgil is. I don't know who Ricardo Ticci is. I don't know any of these people. I wouldn't recognize them in the lineup.
Yeah.
Anna Wintour, I don't know. I don't care. GQ, they're all the same publication to me, right? Because I'm down south, I'm ignorant. So I'm tapping into this neutral space of like, all right, fine. The girl I'm dating, she thinks she's a model. She's cute, but she's a model. She's going to these castings. And the
why do you say she's not a model?
Because she's not a model.
Like she wasn't taking it seriously, or like
she wasn't taking it seriously.
She didn't have the aesthetic.
She was cute, right? Because she had made it in modeling, maybe to some degree, but she wasn't really set up for it. You know, her body type's not. She's a southern thick woman. Like she wasn't really about to hit the runways and be skinny.
At that time, I guess, because now there's like the body positivity movement, but there wasn't space for that back then.
Exactly. Yeah. So right now she probably would have more success, but now anyway. She was going to castings, and I was just messing around with taking her to her castings. I was just driving her there. I was sitting in the lobby, and somebody was like, "Yo, you want to cast for the show?" And I was like, "Nah." It was like, "You should try. You might get it." I was like, "All right, well, just shit. This way for me to bond with her." So I just went and casted too. Out of nowhere, I was like, "Okay, maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the thing I try it with." I just started manifesting. I was literally in my room. Literally meditate. I'll tell you exactly what it was about. I was walking down the runway, all the oohs and ahs, you can hear them. Ooh, oh, what is that? Oh man, all the flashes, all the wind, the wind tunnel machine, right? And every step I took, I'll never forget. Every step I took, the whole runway destroyed behind me. The whole ship was just fall apart, like breakaway pants. Like every step I took was just crumbling. That's how powerful my walk was, and I was just coming down the runway, just powerful. And it was just a cool thing to think about. That's all it was. It was just a really cool thing to think about, just to be like, oh yeah, I'm center of attention. Yeah, I'm peacocking right now. Yeah, I can't touch my swag, right? I don't know how to walk. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything about this. I don't know shit about
people
fashion.
Study it, but you're just like, I seen this on TV one time.
Zoolander. That's my best. That's my best reference. Like
the words "blue steel" come to mind when you were
exactly. And I didn't even see the movie. I just saw the previews. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, that's it. Like, okay. And I seen some ads, you know what I mean? I'm just putting my little Lego blocks together in my brain, like, and letting my imagination.
You gave him pause. You gave him the Magnum. You gave him the Magnum.
More or less, yeah. Stupid, bro. That's dumb.
That's what they called it. That was the name of the last one. That was the major one, the big deal,
right?
In that movie.
Anyway, I'm putting my little pieces together, right? The little pieces that I think matter, right? And they don't. Ultimately, none of that shit get held together. But my imagination around those little pieces was just filling in all the blanks. I was like, yeah. And then after this, we go to the club, and after this, and I get paid to go to the club. How much? Look, at the time I'm military, so it's not a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, like $50 an hour. Like I thought that was big money. It's crazy. Cause I'm like, at the time I'm like 21, 22 maybe. And I'm like, yeah, $50 an hour.
For a 21-year-old, that's mad bread.
Crazy. I'm thinking that's wild. And then I'm getting paid to party. Yeah. I'm visualizing myself.
And that's a different time. Cost of living's way down compared to now. So like from then to now, bro, like
right. 50 an hour was like chaos money. Yeah. That was like I'm bands throwing money. Like 50 an hour? Yeah. What? So I'm visualizing that. I'm surrounded by girls, right? Girls just like want me, this and that. And this is what I thought it was about. You know, this is modeling, right?
In hindsight, could have had a down payment on a house or something, but
had several.
Yeah.
But that's what I visualized.
And all that shit is just on the floor of a bunch of clubs.
Look, let me tell you, if I had visualized,
obviously picked up and gone
I didn't visualize more money. Otherwise, more would have came.
Yeah.
I just visualized 50 an hour. Like if y'all imagine buckets, like literally totes, like clear totes from the dollar store, full of hundreds, that would have been it.
What was your visualization practice?
It was just every day, just visualize coming down the runway and then just living some other aspect of this life.
And that started
completely imaginary.
Did that start after that audition? Like that night you were, I guess you were like, I kind of like this.
Yeah, why not? Like I was trying to find something to meditate on, like in terms of manifesting. And I was just like, that was a cool thing to think about.
So all the books were kind of like leading up, and then this opportunity came, and it was like, all right, this gives me something to
This is something I can sink my teeth into. I can sink my meditative teeth. Yeah, I can apply it. So bam, I started visualizing, right? And there's this weird, thank you. There's this weird Venn diagram overage of like meditating and visualizing, right? You clear your mind, okay, and the thoughts that come, you know, if you like them, you just step into them, right? And is that a part of meditating? Yes, but it's also visualization. And you really try to bring your modalities into it. You try to smell it. You try to feel it. You try to touch it. You know what I mean? If I'm in the club, I'm not just thinking about watching myself in the club. Like, I'm sitting on the Tuscan leather. The girl's titties is on my arm. Like, they're there. Like, that's what's happening. And I could try to get a little side, but I'm not a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? I'm sipping $500, I'm sipping $500 champagne.
Yeah.
I can't be that dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
But it comes to mind. You
right, and
just
I'm chopping. Yeah. Hey,
all right,
amigo.
You opt not
exactly.
to. Exactly.
You opt not to, but the option is
yeah.
there. But you feel it. You feel the option. You really have the option.
And
in
she
that
might
moment.
be with it too. That's a whole.
She's
other,
100% with it, and that's why she's doing it.
Yeah, but for you just don't feel like
because of
like
politics. It's too
Okay.
It's too political. Maybe next week.
Okay.
Maybe next week I give it a D. Maybe. Yeah, she act right. I don't know. This is where you feeling. You're feeling this in this visualization.
Yeah.
And it's like, is she cute? This and that. She's cute. Blah blah blah. So on and so forth. And you visualize going into your agency. What the hell is that about?
Yeah.
What do you do there? Right. So okay, just go into an agency and talk to your agent. And what does your agent do? Before you do it? What do you think an agent even tells you? Like, just imagine stupid language coming out of his mouth. Yes, the this and the that and the blah 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 and the so and so called for you and so and so called and this is a chart. None of this is actually what happens in the agency at all. But I'm just visualizing the feeling of being walked around the agency just doing stuff. And I just don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just playing in this space. I do this every day for fun for about 2 months, right? About 60 days. Like, there's no time limit on it, but it was about 60 days. And then after 60 days, something woke. I was dead tired. It was a crazy shift.
And this is you in New York now?
I was in South Carolina.
Oh.
At Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Oh, so you're still in the military at this point?
I was still in the military.
So how are you doing it every day? If you're like, you just have time, like they give you time.
I got time off. Yeah,
okay.
I got time off. So I'm home. I'm in the house that I bought. I'm in my purchased home. And I live in a condo. I bought it. It was Wimbledon Court in Columbia, South Carolina. And I got snatched out of my sleep. I'll never forget. I was asleep, dead to the world. It was one of the hardest shifts I'd ever had. And something woke me up out of my sleep, pulled me out of my dream, and was like, get up now, like a drill sergeant. And I was like, I'm up. What? Like, what is it? And it was just this feeling from the inside. There was just like, it was a voice. It was clear as day. No. No. It wasn't even go to New York.
No, I'm joking.
And it certainly was not a whisper.
It
was not a whisper.
Okay.
Get up. All right, I'm up. I'm standing up next to my bed. My bed was on the floor. I was wrecking chicks on the floor. King size mattress on the floor.
Yeah.
No bed frame, no headboard, just a floor with clean sheets. That was it. Get up. I'm up. Go downstairs. Go downstairs. I had a duplex. Go downstairs. Get on the computer now. I'm on a computer. I'm sitting in front of a computer I built, a Windows computer I built. It's such a nerd computer. It's like silver with blue lights. It's dumb. And I'm just sitting in front of the screen like, what? Here I am. What? I'm obedient. And it said, go to GQ.com right now. I have never in my life been a GQ I have never looked at it. I've never looked at it. First time, I type in GQ.com, enter. What? There's nothing interesting about this at all. Nothing. I'm waiting. The voice comes. Click now. There's a word, now, on the website, right there. Bring the cursor over, I click now.
Now? What is now? Like, how is now even on the website?
Happening now. So there were runway shows that were happening, that were unfolding at that very moment.
Okay.
I'm up. I hit now. I started clicking through the pictures. I clicked on the Givenchy show, right? Givenchy at the time was my pronunciation.
Yeah.
And I'm clicking. I get to a dude named Nate Gill, okay? I didn't know the dude's name at the time. Nate Gill, that's his name. I get to his picture, and I don't know if you ever seen the doppelganger. I don't know if you've ever seen yours. I had never seen a man that looked so similar to me in my life. I had never seen a person. The way that this man was looking, the way his face was, the way he was holding himself, the way he was walking, all that shit was exactly what the fuck I was visualizing for 60 days. It shocked me. It shocked, nothing, remember, I'm a medic in the Army. Nothing surprises me. Nothing. You can come in here, your head is on this side, your body's over there. I don't care. Nothing shocks me. This sat me back into my seat.
Kind of like a cross between you and David Goggins, ironically.
Actually. Bring Goggins and Nate Gill, bro. Bring them both. You'll see it. But what's crazy is that it shocked me. It sat me back into my seat. I started crying. I started to cry, real tears. And I hadn't cried at that point in years. My roommate came downstairs, Demetric Nelson. He's in the Navy now. I think he's like a 06 or something now. At the time, he wasn't even in the Navy. At the time, he was in school. He came down. He was like, "What's up, big bro? You all right?" And I was like, "Bro, look." He was like, "Damn, bro, what you doing on the screen?" He saw it. He saw the semblance. I was like, "That's not me. I don't know who the fuck that is, but that's not me." He was like, "Yo, that's crazy. Like, y'all look alike." I was like, okay, that was the sign. That was the sign I needed from the universe. Like, okay, this shit is working. I was like, all right, now what? Just now what? And the steps just started to order themselves. And one opportunity after another. Oh, go try out for Charlotte Fashion Week. Okay, fine. I did it Charlotte Fashion Week. Okay, cool. I did all the shows in Charlotte, whatever. I meet the dude that I think I'm supposed to meet, the agent. No, it's the first dude to meet. He's a great guy, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to name him. Good, cool dude, but led me down the path of what I wasn't supposed to do first. Showed me all of the fakes, all of the people that were pretending. Nobody here had the vision. Nobody here was visualizing. Nobody here was meditating on it. Nobody here was consistent. Nobody here was following the steps. Everybody was just riding on good looks, but everybody was just, they were localized. They were okay with Charlotte. I wasn't. I was visualizing the globe. I was visualizing Tokyo, Paris, Germany, Italy. That was in my brain. And so I figured I made it to Charlotte. Cool. That wasn't the last stop. I did Charlotte Fashion Week. Fast forward, I get a random offer to do a show that's off brand from a dude that saw me walk in a show I wasn't even supposed to be walking in for a random weekend that I got called off for. I was supposed to be working that weekend. I got called off. Out of nowhere, became available to walk in the show. I was like, fine. I went. There was no compensation. It was for Boss, and it was a little store show, showing they fall, whatever. I go to the Boss show. Clothes don't fit me. Fine. They put me in something else that wasn't even supposed to be there, right? So all this shit is just happening, right? It's not supposed to happen, not supposed to happen, not supposed to happen. I walk in the show. I finished the show. It was cool. It was a little mixer mingling. This dude walks up to me named Alva Page. You can look him up. Alva Page, good friend of mine to this day, walks up to me and says, "Who are you?" And I said, "My name is Caesar." He says, "I'm Alva. I'm a runway coach. And I think you have a lot of potential to do well." I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm already doing well. Look, I'm the king of Charlotte. And he was like, no, son. No. This is not where it stops. Here's my card. He gave me his card. He said, "I'll work with you at a discount because you need to work on your walk. But if you nail your walk, you're going to go far." And I was like, bet. I went home, looked at the card, looked him up. I couldn't find any data on the dude except for like one little video on YouTube. And I was like, fuck it. It's $100. I paid him $100. He worked with me for 2 hours on my walk. Showed me what I was doing wrong, what I needed to do right, how to feel. It was all in alignment with what I was visualizing, all of it. So it just came naturally. He recommended me to come to New York, spend money to shoot with Joseph Blue, a photographer that was just interested in finding new faces. He's a new face photographer. That's what he had been offered all kind of wild campaigns and shit. He just didn't like that.
And you're what, 22 at this time or something?
22. And he said, go shoot with Joseph Blue. I'm going to recommend
you. It's like a prime age too, probably.
Crazy. I go shoot with Joseph. Joseph charged me $500 that I don't have, and I do it for my birthday. I was like, okay, if anything, I just get a New York photo shoot experience, right? Yeah, who can say that? Back south, they can't say that they went to New York and did pictures. I fucking win. right? I'm a win against the rest of these clowns down here that's never been to New York and never had New York photos. I came up here. It was the most frustrating experience of my life. It was the most military included. It was having a photo shoot with Joseph Blue on film was the most frustrating experience in my life up to that date. All the homelessness, all of the training, the constant badgering, the dehumanization from, I can handle all that. Coaches yelling at you, you blew the open shot, you blew open layup. I dealt with all that, no problem. That day shooting with him, the most emotional I've ever been. The most emotional. He captured it. He caught it. Put it online. Had me shoot with 2 other photographers. Also shot with Taurus Love. Taurus is much easier to shoot. Much great. He's an awesome dude. Shoots with black dudes. He loves new black creative energy. Anyway, shot with them.
But what was so difficult? Like, why do you say like you can't just gloss? You like harder than homelessness in the military is like
No
a
rules.
wild statement for a photo shoot.
Because the way that he directed was clear, but it wasn't in a language that is readily understood by a militarized mind. So like about face, left face, like drilling ceremony, I'm gonna kill it. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And he couldn't tell me what to do. He told me obscure shit, like just be, that's not it. Just, you're trying and you don't need to. Why are you trying? Be effortless. And as you search for these things inside you don't know, that's not a command. That's not a recognizable command for your computer. You know, be effortless. What the fuck does that mean? I'm efforting in everything that I do. What are you talking about?
Because the military didn't groom you to be creative.
Exactly.
Well, it does, I imagine.
No.
In certain ways, no.
It grooms you to
Like, no, to like problem solve.
follow orders.
Yeah. To follow orders for sure.
Yeah, but solve this problem that's within these confines. Photography is such a wildly open thing. Like you could do anything on a camera and it could be right or wrong. It doesn't, you know what I mean? There's no bounds to it. So as a model, he really started this fast track process, this really intensive process of like, how do you feel on command? You need to command a feeling right now and get there. Like, how do you do that? Like, there's no how. You just become. You just are. Like, you just have to step into that space of am. I am this now. That's what I am now in this moment. And you got 20 seconds because in 20 seconds I'm going to lose it. So good luck. Hope you find it. And so you're offering emotions to the camera and the camera's finding those frames. And there's this really, it was just the most frustrating thing because I had never done that before. And to this day have never had an experience like it. But it primed me. I was so frustrated. I cried on camera. We shot for 12 hours to get 30 pictures.
That's crazy.
12.
Well, no, wait. No, to get, because
you
definitely took thousands of pictures.
No. Film.
Oh, right.
He shot film.
Right.
He did not shoot digital. So he wasn't just pop like everybody else that just.
So actually 30 clicks of the camera over 12 hours?
He hit that button 30 times in 12 hours. Bro.
That's like 2.5 times an hour or something, right?
Something crazy like that, right? Something crazy. And it was like, until I found it, he would just be frustrated. He got just as frustrated as I did.
Yeah.
We both got frustrated with each other. Like we cried in his little studio apartment. No, it was
both of y'all cried?
Yeah, it was, and his studio was probably not even as big as this.
Wow.
Not even as big as this.
Wow.
And we were both in the studio crying, trying to find it. Whatever the fuck it was. And we found it. He puts it on the internet, right? The pictures are terrible. They're awful.
Yeah.
But it's his aesthetic. And then my agent sees the pictures and goes, "Who is this?" And Joseph Blue introduces me to my agent, the New York dude. And I didn't know he was an agent. He was a Jamaican dude to me. But I was like, yeah, cool. He's like, so yeah, what's all? I tell him my story, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, you willing to move to New York? I was like, yeah, why not? I was like, sure. If the shoe fits, why? Yeah, sure, why not? He's like, I don't like it. My agent passes on me. My agent passes on me in that moment. Doesn't like me. I was like, okay, whatever. I win anyway. I'm competing against these dudes back home. I had a conversation with an agent. Some more shit that y'all got to catch up to do. Terrible scale. Joseph Blue says no. He's the dude to my agent. He's the guy. Nobody else. It's him. It's him. I'm telling you, it's him. Agent's like, all right, fine. I don't believe you. Joseph Blue says, send him on one casting. One shot. Give him one chance. And if he doesn't fucking nail it, if he doesn't absolutely nail this thing, this one chance that you give him, I'll send him to Sammy. I'll send him to somebody else. My agent goes, okay, fine. He had been sending Dominican, light-skinned Spanish dudes to this casting, and all of them got shut down. He was like, oh, let's get rid of him quick. I know exactly who's going to tell him no. He walks me down to 34th and 8th Avenue. I walk upstairs to cast.
On the spot?
On that day.
Wow.
Because I have to go home. I live in Columbia. I live in South. I live in Fort Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just, he walks me to the office of Daniel Peddle. I walk upstairs with fucking the pictures I had from Joseph Blue. That's it. Just the printouts of that film session. That's it. That's all I had. I didn't have a book. I didn't have casting. I didn't have comp cards. I have nothing. I had on fucking Fruit of the Loom underwear and a Fruit of the Loom fucking tank top and a baggy shirt and I look like I'm frumpy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing stylish about me at all.
Yeah.
I walk into this casting looking crazy, holding photos, and Daniel Pell looks at me like, who are you? I was like, G sent me. Dude's name was G. George. Short for George, but G is what he went by. He's like, yeah, G sent me. From who? Like, from Red. And he's like, for what? I was like, he wanted me to meet you. I don't know. He's downstairs. Talk to him. And Daniel's like, give me a book. And I was like, I don't have a book. He was like, you come up here with no book. I was like, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. He said, well, what do you have? I sent him this. I handed him the pictures. He's like, Joseph Blue took these? I was like, yeah. He's like, it's always sending some drama. Anyway, all right, that won't help. What are you here to do? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just up here. I don't know. Okay, let's see you walk. I tapped into Alva, all that training. Came down, came back. Daniel Peddle raised the eyebrow. He said, take your shirt off. I took my shirt off. He said, walk again. I walked again. This time.
That's not like uncomfortable at all.
No, you're right. I don't know. I'm just following. I'm just following the lead.
Yeah.
And he's like, now both his eyebrows is up. He's filming. He's like, take your pants off, leave your underwear on, take your pants off, walk again. Same energy. Came down, came back. I was like, that's it. I'm not taking nothing else off. He's like, I'm not going to ask you to. He looks me up and down. He says, all right, get dressed. I get dressed. He hands me an envelope. I go downstairs. I hand the envelope to George. George is like, what'd he say? I was like, I don't know. This for you. I hand the envelope to George. George opens it up. He says, motherfucker. I said, what? He said, you got it. I was like, got what? I don't even know what the fuck I've got. He said, you got Givenchy. You're going to be in the exact same slot as Nate Gill. You took Nate Gill's spot.
What?
Mind blown. I was like, wait a minute, what does that mean? He was like, you're going to Paris. Get your passport. You're going to Paris. You're flying. It's all inclusive. It's exclusive. You're going to stay in a hotel. They have an entourage with you. You're going to be partying with celebrities. You're going to be out there. Kanye West is going to be there. Usher's going to be there. Rihanna's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Watching the show, watching Ricardo, partying with Ricardo at Lark. You got VIP reservations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're getting paid $50 an hour. Plus the show fee, plus the flight, plus the hotel, everything, et cetera. Everything taken care of. I was blown away. Absolutely blown. Because I wasn't supposed to get it. All the dudes that have chiseled bones and all this, they didn't get it. That it wasn't that aesthetic for that year. It was the normal looking dude. He wanted the regular guy. He didn't want the model. Ricardo was after the regular dude. And for whatever reason,
Timing.
universe was like, here, you've been thinking about it? No resistance? You sure no resistance? No resistance at all. Bet. Here you go. Here's your ticket. And I never looked back. I lost the house that I had, gone. Lost it in the 2008, 2009 thing. The whole housing deficit thing, gone. Citibank took it. I said, have it.
The Big Short.
Good luck. Yeah, lost my house is wrapped up in one of them loans.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I never looked back at the South because I just knew that if things were going to unfold, New York was a place it's just prime. This is the place for them to unfold. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. That's it. I got a level somewhere in one of these skyscrapers, and it's been that ever since. And so people when I try to tell people the story, like, oh yeah, but you're already handsome, you're already this, you're already that. No, you don't get it. I'm not set up for it. I'm too tall. I'm too big. I'm too wide. I don't fit the clothes. I'm too massive. I've lost 99.9% of clients I've gone out for. It's just a numbers game. I will go to 40 looks in a day. I'll do it. I will beat my feet because I'm a soldier. I don't get tired. Give me a banana in the beginning of the day, and I'm used to walking 26.4 miles in a day with a 40-pound rucksack. You're going to send me with a lightweight book and some comfortable shoes? Yeah, I'm going to hit every last one of them. And I'm just going to see everybody. And I'm going to do my homework at the end of the day. Who I got tomorrow? What can I learn about them? Who is that? What do they have a family? How do I start this conversation tomorrow? How do I get this person to like me, et cetera, et cetera? I'm a grind machine. And when you have no resistance to the thing you're grinding towards, things just happen. It's unfold. I broke the record at Red. I walked in more shows than any other male model had ever walked in their prime in their first season. I walked in like 87 shows. 87. Like, I just leave one show, get in the car, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. I put something like 50 grand on the books in my first 6 months there. Made crazy money that I wasn't supposed to make, working for Nike, working for everybody. I had a list of clients I wanted to work with. 100 clients I had written down as a list of manifestations to go through when I was meditating. Working with this client, working with Calvin Klein. I got Calvin Klein billboards. Working with Nike. I got billboards in Times Square. Working with everybody. Anybody I could think of, Sean John. Like, yeah, I've done that. I've done every single client. Mark, all of my heroes, except one, Ralphie. Never worked with Ralph Lauren. Everybody else, nailed it. Everybody else. When the casting came, I'm doing research. And I'm just casting nonstop. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be the first one there. I'm going to meet everybody. I'm going to be nice to everybody. I'm going to give other models pointers. I'm grateful to be there. Purely. I'm not hating on nobody. I show up. I feel sorry for the light-skinned people that's here. It's like, cause now I'm here. Y'all it's bad juju for you. I remember the exclamation point. I'll never forget. Remember remember that song, You See Right Through Me, Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj had a song called You See Right Through Me. And Willie Monfray was a green-eyed, light-skinned dude from France. And that was he was the model on that video. And that motherfucker was in a casting, sitting next to me, smoking cigarettes, cool, calm, and collected. Like, yeah, I'm gonna nail this show. And he was fat. He wasn't in the gym. He wasn't working out. He was fat, and he was not. He looked like European. He was like, just slack. And I was ripped. I was doing everything. I was running miles, dieting. I had lost like 30 pounds. I didn't have 30 pounds. I was from 205 to 175. 6'4", 175.
Yeah, that's skinny.
It's crazy skinny. Anything it took, I was doing it. I'm next to Willie Monfray. I'm looking at him. Willie Monfray's like, like looking at me like I walk away with the job. He doesn't. I walk right after him. Walked away with his contract. Yeah. I take your shit too. I don't give a fuck. I'll take it. You just gonna leave it there? You gonna be slack? You not going to the gym? Bet. I'll put this right with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Cleaning up and quiet. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows who I am. They just keep seeing me pop up, but nobody knows my name. I'm not famous. I'm not walking because I never visualized that part. That part didn't matter to me. I didn't care to be a household name. I didn't care to have Tyson Beckford, whatever. I was in my vision. I was smashing Tyson Beckford's girl, but but I didn't care to have notoriety like that. In my vision, I never put that there, so it never popped up. Didn't care about it. So I was putting money on the boards. Don't get me wrong, numbers was up there, but I just never had the celebrity. I was like Kawhi Leonard, real quiet, producing, but that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that has led the rest of it, and yeah.
So it's crazy.
No,
man.
we out of time.
I know. I had those other things I wanted to get to, and I was like, you know what, this is just so interesting that I'm just gonna let you rock,
sorry,
bro.
man.
And don't be sorry, bro. This is amazing. And I feel like all that we went through already. There's still so much more. There's got to be a part 2 if you want to do that at some point in the future. You're always welcome.
Yeah. Drums. I'm working on an aqua pad, man. That's it.
But I do need to.
I walked away from the kit for a second because I'm sloppy. I'm back. I'm just diddling. That's it. I'm just working on I'm just on the pad all day. Like whenever I'm on the drum pad. That's it.
We'll get to
that
at a point in the future. But
sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
Absolute honor for me. Thank you.
Right.
What time is it?
3:35.
Damn. That's kind of a wave. Now
Right?
That's kind of a wave a little bit. Yeah.
It's like
Coming out of the headphones is like almost like, wait a minute, what is this now?
Yeah, we were in like another dimension.
A little bubble, yeah. It was a cool bubble.
Yeah.
Perfect table. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, man. It's a good vibe. Yeah.
That was fun as fuck.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, next time is your story.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is supposed to be mutual. Like you could have asked me questions if you wanted to.
I mean, we had a few.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were just kind of trailing off, but that was a lot of fun, man.
Well,
that was good.
You're such a good storyteller in general.
Bro, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
So fucking interesting.